like it was going to be a lot of conflict the whole weekend, everything going on with Iran, and then you wake up and oil is pretty much break even. So is the stock market. So people are worried and they're going back and forth. Some people are saying, no, the worst is behind us, or there's a lot more to handle. But when it's all said and done, this is what I kept explaining. You guys could even go back to the other video. It's available for everybody. We went over all of the morning news, but long story short, bro, you have not heard back from Iran at all. So even from last week and some of those other attacks, they responded with a couple of missiles. But when it's all said and done, we're still at this point where a lot of developments have occurred and you haven't had a lot of retaliation or reaction. So we'll see where it all takes us. But Chad, we only have 1 minute. We already went over the plays and all of that, so I hope you guys are feeling and living good. But like, I do have to go pee. I do this time. I usually I can hold it, but I don't think this time. I think we need to go, bro. I don't know, where is the propaganda? They just playing a commercial.
That means they'll keep your stock for like a month.
Keep your stock. Okay.
Good.
Thank you. Doing that.
Where
I go
I
back.
did
It's your
something
birthday. Happy
that
birthday.
Was
God bless you.
just for short-term stock, and I felt so bad about it that I don't think I'll do it again.
What was that?
There was one quarter, a few quarters ago, we were not going to beat the quarter. We were going to probably just hit it. And so far, we beat every quarter. So we were all like, wait, what? Our perfect record. We're like a 4.0 student that is going to get a B for the first time. This is not good. And I decided that for a short period of time, at the end of a lesson in our app, we would show 2 ads instead of 1. Turns out that by itself was good enough to beat the quarter, but it's bad for the product. It's not good. After that, I'm never doing that again.
What is going to be the consequence for U.S. markets?
We are basically deep in the European earnings season.
Take a look at how we're faring when it comes to Asian markets.
U.S.
Round
jobs numbers are
one.
released. Bloomberg has the
Fight.
report under surveillance.
All right, we're good to go. All right. Iranian chief of staff, we will respond to American mistake firmly and in proportion to the act of the aggressor. All right. Intel little pop. Again, watch healthcare. People are talking about them underperforming. Chips were good, and then again, Tesla has the cyber cab again, and then a couple of other biotechs not as good. Damn, Circle, bro. Holy shit. Circle and then even Core Weave, they're both going up there. And then the defense plays are actually still up, believe it or not, too. That's kind of crazy. Good luck. Intel. Oh, yeah, there was the expiration on Friday. Celsius. Again, let me see where those, what's it called, went. So who is it? SQNS and then NTRS. NTRS is a potential buyout. So again, they're up only 5, now 6. BK Mellon, they said that they approached them this weekend. There's no details, so you don't even know the price or anything else. SQNS, that was the other Bitcoin one. It's only up 11. It's a $2 stock though, and an ADR. Be careful. Tesla running now. Tesla's doing really good. So again, Tesla was only up by 1% on the thing, and then it went up. Yeah, Lulu is a contender for the long term. I think if you like Nike but you don't like Nike, you know, if like you don't believe in Nike the same way some of us do, but you want that retail, you know, exposure at a cheaper price, I think Lulu is a good one. You know, go look at it. It has very similar fundamentals for the long term compared to Nike. It's not as old as Nike, so you don't have the same like legacy, but other than that, it's, you know, they're about the same price to earnings fundamentally. I don't think Lulu offers a dividend. Nike does, and then Nike obviously makes more, but they're very, very similar fundamentally. We've been saying that for the last year, and now Lulu, it's actually at a new price. So you see what I'm saying? So you were just at $300, man. Now it's hitting 222. My brothers, you guys always ask me about plays, and I'm usually like, no. Guess what? This one, I mean, this meets all the criteria. You know, you're at a 5-year low. It's a company most people know about. You really just got to ask yourself, is Lulu going to be around for another 10 years? You know what I'm saying? But it meets a lot of the criteria. So like I'm saying, though, you're not overpaying. Yeah, you know, it could still go down and you have risk and all of that, and maybe it fails, but I'm much more confident buying at 220 than 400 or 300 even. You see what I'm saying? So I think if you could start a position there and you have to agree and believe in it for 10 years, then yeah, why not? I'm not really against that one. So amen, bro. And then SPY coming down. Dow Chemicals, that was on the high. They had good news in the morning. Let's see. Oil futures are actually technically green. And then don't forget about the dollar. Where's your boy Bitcoin? Bitcoin's down. No safe haven there. And then equal weight. Equal weight's barely red, honestly. Equal weight's not bad. So this might just be a little bit of tech. And then NVO washed. NVO and HIMS. But I want healthcare. I'm telling you. So right now, healthcare, this is the cheapest it's been compared to the S&P since 2000. So in the last 25 years, the only problem, I've been picking it apart, bro. I've been going through all of them, and it's so interesting because healthcare, as a whole, it's below the 20-year average, but then it's like a lot of them are still up. Like the names that you would want in healthcare to take advantage of the dip, none of them are cheap. So it's weird because there's a lot of people just dying in healthcare, ironically enough. But there is a space there, and I like them. I like Merck and a few others, Pfizer. But that's where the opportunity is. But it's very, very hard to pick it apart. And then it's just still like a lot of winner take all. UNH it's pretty attractive, but like I told you guys in the beginning, you know, it's going to take time. So you could go for it, but the timeline is going to be a little bit more bumpier. All right, and then SPY still chilling there. Again, NASDAQ's already down by 0.4, and so is the Russell. So Dow, SPY, equal weight doesn't look that bad. I mean, it doesn't seem like too bad of a morning, but yeah, the NASDAQ's down a pretty decent amount. I don't think UNH gave guidance, no. I think they gave some guidance, but I think they opted out of the other ones ever since. Google's still falling, yeah. Amazon, Mobileye's going up. See if Intel carries along. Like I said, chips are doing pretty good. Trump, everyone keep oil prices down. I'm watching. Keep oil prices down. That's literally what Trump said. So Truth Social on oils. Interesting. Let me get you the exact quote. Everyone keep oil prices down, all caps. I'm watching. You're playing right into the hands of the enemy. Don't do it. Are you talking to me? I'm not. I just have debit spreads, Donald. It's okay. Don't worry. Great interview last night. Congressman August Pfluger by Trey Gowdy. Very interesting and insightful. And then Trump media announced his share repurchase 41 minutes ago. Howard, how do you stop them from buying oil? Stop it. Can you do a smart contract? Can you limit it? I don't know. Just tell them they're playing into the enemy. Tell them it's a mistake. Tweet that. Truth it. Thank you. All right, well, SPY's going up now. You're back to green. Again, even the actual index is green. Wait till equal weight. It'll probably follow. Again, tech, that's your drag here on the day. Tweet it now. Visa on the high. All right, so you're moving up a little bit. It sucks because, dude, we got a lot of range. Remember even Friday, bro. Friday, you were hitting levels that were kind of, again, we went down to 6,000. So same type of game. You could get back to like 59.87, 59.90. I don't really care about those. All that's going to matter, 6,000, and then 6,007, 6,013, and then playing that. And then we will see. There's AMD off the bottom. Again, Eli Lilly is the winner as NVO and HIMS kill each other. So we will say Estee Lauder, again, they got that upgrade. They're still holding. Yeah, AMD looks nice. That's trying to curl up there from the bottom. Same thing with the bonds. And then you just had Trump on oil. That Trump Truth Social brought it down a fucking $1. So, hey, take that how you please. From the long time. But yeah, Chad, so I don't know. I'm going to see what LT says, but we have to decide. Because that if I accept this offer, I will be in escrow. Uh-oh, hot dog. Pepsi's a dead stock. It's Pepsi, Bebzi, Habibi, Bebzi. But yeah, a lot of things have moved like that, though. This is exactly why we've been holding cash. I really hope the last couple of months has showed you guys, you know, the beauty of the strategy and kind of what we were anticipating. Because like I'm telling you, man, it's just like there's been so many prices, but nothing got really new. So like Pepsi, man, it was attractive, but it's been pinned. Target, UPS, like, bro, these are good names. But like look at all of the pins. So, you know, it's been a decent amount of time, but you're not getting too much developments, and that's what we're waiting on. But then as you see it start to go down, this is where you're gonna get excited. But if it does bounce, then you're gonna be like, why'd I hold cash? But that's the beauty. We got good balance. Remember, we have a deposit coming. I can't believe this. This will be the most amount of cash you guys have seen me hold. Yeah, truth. Trump to Department of Energy. Drill, baby, drill. And I mean now. That's what he says. So there you have it. There you have it. Ooh. All right. Iran may close it. Yeah, they were saying that last night. So again, and that it's like a real risk. I'm not saying it's not, but like I was saying, yesterday I woke up and everyone's like, oh my gosh, Strait of Hormuz is closing, and it didn't. All they did was vote on it. So they're pretty much saying that if they needed to, they have the ability, but they have chosen not to as of now. Whoa, what was that? Okay, high ticker going crazy. Sprouts, Netties, a few China plays, even gold. Spy's been doing decent. That closing would affect China more. It would just affect everybody. That's just the real reality is that, you know, 20% of all global energy is moving through there. Iran is responsible for 3.5% of all global energy production. So just you have anything, like some people will definitely get affected more, but the general idea is that it's going to disrupt things, kind of like supply chain, just maybe even worse. So it just kind of threatens a decent amount of oil and the movement of it, and then that'll change things from costs, shipments to everything else, man. Very, 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 very wild. Quantum, that's weird. I haven't heard about quantum as much today. We saw a lot of it on Friday. CCJ, uranium. Okay, Uber's going up as well, too. Cisco. Okay, Nike's coming down. Well, just think about it. I mean, the Strait hasn't been messed with in a very long time. So, but that is their big issue. That's their big thing. So again, I mean, this is why like all of this has been so shocking of just how quickly this developed. And then it just like, again, Iran, a lot of people thought different things of Iran, but like you're telling me in a week and a half, we're already talking about them using one of their biggest options. It just kind of shows you where they're kind of at right now. So I wouldn't put it off the table, but until it happens, we're still in this, you know, there is a scenario where Iran just accepts a negotiation. You guys realize that, right? So there is a scenario where I don't know how likely it is, but if Iran wanted to come to the table and say, you know what, we don't want to do this anymore, you're right. Okay, let's get a nuclear deal, right? Then there you go. Then this is all over. But the Strait, that's going to be the escalation. Again, the declarations of war, the Strait being closed. These are all taking it to the next level. Now, granted, the United States took it to the next level this weekend by attacking. You get what I'm saying? So, but now it's like, what outcome do we take, or which route do they take? I mean, this is why even the Israeli guy this morning was saying they got to think about it. And I see why, but this could go in so many different directions. We outlined a couple of them yesterday. That's the other one. I needed, like, look at oil. Again, I know a lot of you guys are watching oil move, and you might be wondering, like, well, wait, I thought it's supposed to go up, and it did. It gapped up 5%, and now you're right back to where we started. You've watched this happen every day last week. There's going to be fear shock. Yo, Bitcoin's going vertical right now. So, yeah, Bitcoin and gold. What the hell? So check the dollar, but both of those are moving right now. Bitcoin and gold straight up. Dollar straight down almost. Interesting. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, there's all of this war stuff, man. Oh, with oil. I was going to say OPEC. That's what you guys got to watch out for. Because oil could have a shock and people could get like scared of it. But then if oil goes and hits AIP is in NVIDIA secret. Yeah, that's the one. Remember, we have plays on that. Go. It's AIP October. Those plays are cheap as fuck. Oh, never mind. Nope, they were lagging. They fixed it. Damn it. Yeah, well, it just has a high ask, but there were some cheapies on that one. Yeah, those are the old plays we already got. Long time, thank you. Woo! PMI. That's not going to be the main one. We want the ISM. But yeah, June PMI is 52.8 versus 52.2. Oh, no, we don't have the ISM. I thought we did. Boo. Oracle, I forgot about that. I don't know if that's Oracle or Circle. Circle. Pizza. Bro, did you see it? I saw more pizza articles. Apparently, Elon Musk eats Papa John's now. Man, we got a steal of a deal, huh? At 30. Because I see Papa John's, man, that's everywhere. Nibis. We haven't heard about that. MSTR going up. Remember, your boy was going earlier. Hims got the NVO and Hims, they canceled their partnership for the drug compounder, so they got clapped. Defen on the high. AMD now and Tesla, AIP, small cap, NVIDIA play. That was the other one. Circle, that was hidden. CCCM was a Bitcoin, and then SQ&S. Yeah, all the Bitcoin treasury plays got clapped. Not as much hype. Circle's still going. Again, Circle, even CoreWeave, again, part of the IPO clan, but they were coming up. But no, CoreWeave faded after the morning. But Circle's doing good. All right, man, it's slow, but you're back to green. Dow, SPY. I see Bowen popping. Circle is still going crazy. Bowen's about to hit 200 again. EWJ even. Pizza. Wendy's on the high and Tesla. Yeah, Wendy's kind of looks aggressive. Oh, Sweet Greens. Bro, isn't it crazy how it keeps going lower? So Sweet Greens did hit a new price, man, but it sucks because whenever this breaks, it's going to $9. Would I consider LVMH? Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they're up there. I know they came back down, but just apply it to everything else we talked about. China seeks 2027 gold production will rise more than 5%. Oh? Okay, SPY, Rocket Lab, Workday. Dude, that's crazy. So you guys know, like, August is only like 45 days or something? Dude, this is nuts. Time fly, Habibi. You know time fly. Invalid? How you doing invalid, Habibi? I'll make me do a 5, a 10. Give it to me, Habibi. Why you do this? You got, and then you feel it. These are guys, man. These are guys. MPC on the low. Kind of flushy. Marathon. JP Morgan. Sweet Greens is to grocery what Lulu is to Nike. Faddish, I know. It sucks, but like these fad restaurants, because I like Sweet Green, but and even Kava and all these places, but it is so wild because like you don't know which one's gonna be the next Chipotle or which one's just gonna be the next I don't even know, Krispy Kreme, or what is it? What's a food trend that was like really, has there ever been a healthy food trend that disappeared? Because I know there was a couple, but nothing's coming up off top. Philip Morris on the high. Short cover. It could be, but again, a lot of them already covered last week. So if you guys remember, I was showing you this chart. So I was like, get ready for summer. I hope you guys, I gave you guys the summer warning months in advance. So I hope you guys are ready for it because it's about to be slow. So I know it's going to be weird because we're going to have everything going on, you know? And you're going to have like all these events and war, and it's going to feel like you should be moving, but at the end of the day, it's not like, I think the positioning is low. This is what we talked about last night on the watch list. Like compared to last summer, hedge fund positioning is already 15% lower. So it's just going to be slow. That's the way I would look at it all. And, you know, I think people have already covered and done certain things. So I wouldn't just, I would be prepared for this. Be prepared for 7 hours to go nowhere, a lot of money, but not a lot of advancing. And really maybe towards end of summer or until there is like a real true structural difference in the economy. And I don't think it's going to change much. So get ready. Oh, hydroxy cut. That was just crack. Yeah, Weight Watchers. Subway was a healthy fail. Beyond Meat wasn't even food, bro. That was like, bro, I swear to you, Beyond Meat was simply just like Bill Gates' version of augmentation for his physique. But other than that, I wouldn't consider that like healthy food. I don't know. I liked the Beyond Meat for a little bit. That was a weird era, you know. Some people became gothic. I ate Beyond Meat for a little bit. Slim Fast. You remember Jenny Craig? You remember? Jenny Craig used to be like a diss. I would tell my sisters they needed Jenny Craig whenever they would make me mad. Do you guys remember Jenny Craig? Does anybody? You got to be real old to know Jenny Craig and to like respect Jenny Craig. Jenny Craig was an icon at one point. Hydroxycut, I'm pretty sure people died. I think it was something about like hypertension. It messed with people. Like whole caffeine thing or whatever. What was it? Ephedrine? Straight fucking adrenaline. Yeah, to the dome, bro. So I'm talking about Hydroxycut. What? That's crazy. Oust on the high. Damn, 22. HQI again. Tesla's still going. SPY just melted on up to the high, man. NATO general U.S. strikes did not violate international law. All right, bonds making a move. Remember, you just had that gold oil move. Meanwhile, gold has just been running all day. Even silver, for crying out loud. SMLR. Team on the high. SPYs, Qs, everything. Yalla, Habibi. Yalla. Neutral. VIX is on the low now. Yeah, the Tesla Cybercab rides are $4.20. I already saw a video of it glitching out, though. People were... We'll see. We'll see where this goes, man. Cisco on the high. Cisco 52-week high. Yeah, gold is just waking up, bro. And then Novo trying to come back up again. Eli. Actually, Eli came down. I thought they were going to be the winner still. Yeah, Tesla's killing it, bro. 340. So, all day, man. You started out very weak last night. Futures, everything. Slowly melted up in the pre-market. We got a little bit of data. You're not really reacting to that, but you've just climbed your way back on up, man. Literally, Russell's about to go 0.3. It's moving a lot, man. NASDAQ was down by 0.5. NASDAQ is now green by 0.12. So you have moved already almost 1% intraday. I do think we are getting above the 6,000 right now. But long story short, you got to break that. Yeah, actually, no, we're not even close. You need one more of these bursts, and then we'll test the 6,000. A low probability put. Yeah, I mean, it's just the same. It's the same way as last week, you guys. So I like I said yesterday, I remember on Friday, like open face, and some people were asking me about energy, and I was like, dude, I have these debit spreads. Just get some time, you know, and then call it a day. Just, you know, because what's going on? You wake up, you get the news, market closes, bad stuff happens while it's closed. You wake up, everyone says no, overblown, and then you do that over and over again. And then meanwhile, it stays elevated. So you got to find a play, risk reward. That's why I did the debit spread. It took advantage of the premiums. It's defined to the downside, defined to the upside, and then give yourself time and call that a day. So, because it's just going to play like this. You're going to have, you know, we're freaking out today. Nothing happens. It's going to keep chilling out. And then the day something happens, it's going to pop back up. And then you're going to play that game. You're going to overshoot post-market. And then intraday, it'll kind of do nothing. And then end of the day, leading into the next day, you'll get the next set of moves. Ta-da! Do you think the New World Order is being formed? Not in like, I don't know if you're looking for like a revelation, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's what you're seeking. I'm looking for some rapture discussion, but I read a quote yesterday and I agree with it. It's just like, if you go look at most world leaders from like Kim Jong-un all the way down to the Trumps and the Bidens, and go even China, bro, Vladimir Putin, like go look, they're all old. In the next like 20 years, some of the biggest political leaders you know about are going to pass away. And that's going to create a very big shift politically, if you really think about it. So that will probably be, there's a different world very, very soon ahead of us. But I don't know if I'd call it the New World Order or get into that, you know, discussion of rapture. Energy Secretary Wright answers Trump's ask on drilling. We are on it. Lagarde carefully watching commodity prices. about cost basis tracking. Sure. I mean, if it's gonna lead into taxes, please contact your tax professional. That's usually most can be solved through that. India, U.S. trying to finalize interim trade deal by July 9th. PTI. And Roblo 103. Hi. Yeah, you have the ability to change it. That's why I talk to your tax professional and see what makes the most sense for you. Or depending on how you trade in your strategy, there hopefully should be an answer in that. HUT, Affirm, there's another one I just saw. But yeah, a couple of the Bitcoin names. SPY near the high. Bonds have not moved out of this range from the morning. It's wild no one's talking about Terrace. Because Terrace was cap. That's it. Like, let's be real. Everybody, like, obviously they're a real thing, and they could, again, it could lead to a short-term impact, but, you know, it's been 7 months now. You've had the tariffs, prices didn't go up, the economy and other things. You know, people wanted you to be afraid of it, but clearly, like, you know, there's bigger stuff, and just as quickly as you get into one problem, you'll get into another one. So, yeah, kind of nuts. Existing home sales, 4.03 million. Estimate was 3.95. Well, that was strong. Yeah, high ticker's loving it. Again, even the bonds. So existing home sales, 0.8 gain. Estimate was minus 1.3. I mean, again, it is leading in this summer, so seasonally that makes sense. But last summer it was slower. So this summer, people are trading less stocks and buying more real estate. Ironic. I mean, hey, you get a long term, baby. Get a long term. But yeah, you're starting to move off of that. I think bonds got a bigger effect. End up, watch the dollar and see where that takes you. But everything is looking good. Oh yeah, what happened to the drones? I do remember that. Right. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. All right, bonds really running. The data just came in good, so I think it's a little overblown for data. I think the market was just rolling along from the cash open. Fed Bowman open to cutting rates as soon as July if inflation stays contained. That's why you're fucking moving. That's the second Fed person to say that. Who was it? Who was it on Friday? Was it Waller? So one of them said that on Friday, Waller, and now you have Fed Bowman saying it's time to cut rates. So that's a second Fed person to say that in the last, 72 hours. Adjusting policy, trade policy only likely to have minimal impact on inflation. Data not showing much impact from trade policy shifts. Open to cutting as soon as July. Was it Waller who said it on Friday? Yeah, that's why I want to make sure it's two of them. Because that's a little different now. Because people, when they heard Waller say it, they were just like, homeboys, auditioning for Jerome Powell's job. But now you got two of them. So Bowman, current Middle East situation could pressure commodity prices. But then again, remember what I told you. These Fed speakers don't really matter. Who gives a shit what they say? All that matters is Powell. But let's see. But that's why I was like, dude, the real estate data shouldn't cause that. But now you have the second Fed person in a couple days calling for a rate cut now out of nowhere. Because again, you just got the SCP and everything else, and there wasn't a decisive shift. Very interesting. Oust is running, bro. 18 months? Well, maybe. Either, I think, just whenever the Fed and spending bill. I wouldn't even try to put a time on it. Because remember, we already had a rate cut. That's it. The Fed already kind of fucked shit up. You know, the last Fed cut in September should have already said something. So we'll see. But I want to get too boxed in, and just realistically, you know, Powell will admit it. You'll know. Or somebody will. It'll be much more obvious. But for now, you know, there's big aggressive policy and a lot of other things. But economically, jobs, nothing has changed. So until we get those shifts, I hope y'all are ready. And I wouldn't be too worried about recession or anything until there is more of that. But even then, you know, I wouldn't operate as if recessions don't happen, as if pullbacks don't occur. And I would have a plan that is diversified and will allow you to succeed no matter what. Representative Jefferson Shreve has filed a purchase of Halliburton stock. Bowman, government policy changes should lower inflation risk. Tariffs likely to have small impact on inflation. Progress on trade has lowered uncertainty. Current Middle East strife could pressure up commodity prices. Labor market solid, but signs of softness emerging. Crown Prince of Iran. S&P rises 0.5. CLK, cars, snow, Meta now. Remember Meta on Friday, and then you guys said Boeing. Yeah, Meta's waking. What the hell's going on with Meta? Something's happening. It's either just 10 o'clock, we're getting the double cash open run, but yeah, a couple of tech names just took off. Again, you got Boeing. I like Meta. That looks good, and that has been a big leader. Everyone said go short. It just depends where you're reading, because everywhere I read, they said go long. So that's why I came in yesterday and I was telling you guys, I was like, bro, there's so many people who are just like, the worst is behind us. So a lot of people after the attack, although it sounded bad, and the U.S. attacks Iran, then you hear Fordo, you hear nuclear, you get all of this stuff. I mean, there was a lot of people who were just like, nah, it's behind us. So yeah, home sales already came out. It actually ended up coming in a little hotter. So that's what we were saying, you know, compared to, looks like less stock buying this summer, more real estate, compared to last summer by this point. So yeah, we heard a lot over the weekend about this. But then again, this is what happens every single time with the war. You get these conflicts, oil volatility spikes, and then you chill out for a little bit, and then you rinse and repeat. So, but that's why it's like, that's why I say get time, keep it cheap, or don't play it at all. That's also why we talked about it last week. I was telling you, man, get ready for it. You're going to have oil volatility, and stocks could do absolutely nothing. I think the stock market or oil could go between like what? It could stay between like $60 and maybe like $80 without affecting the SPY. That's essentially what we've been going through. So get used to it or be prepared for it, because if we do get that environment, I mean, that's going to last for a couple of months, and that sounds very summery to me. Yeah, Circle, Amazon, Meta, like I told you, Mag 7 starting to wake up. Bonds are running from the Bowman comments. Don't get confused with the data. And then SPY is just run-a-rooning. There it is. Got my peach, Devin. Hope you had a good weekend too, baby. Good morning, Circle, Oracle, Oracle, Tesla, ARC, ANET, software, pub. Yeah, a lot of things going up there. So run it. U.S. yields further after Bowman comments. From the long term. Okay, long term is back to green today. You know, Chad, can I apologize to y'all? I want to say sorry to you guys. Okay. Not really, but I do apologize, because I just wanted to let you know I feel you, okay? I feel what you guys, because like, bro, I get it now. I get it, because this long term means a lot, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't want to sell it for a house. You know, I just want to keep it Guys, you know, every time I look at it, bro. So I'm sorry for ever giving you shit, but the rules are the rules. We got to move it to, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to, I feel like Jack. I feel like the Titanic. I don't want to let go. I'll never let go. But yeah, look at it, bro. It might be time. We'll find out. But now, yeah, now I actually have to go through it, Chad. See, now I'm actually going to have to do it. This is what it feels like, step by step. Ugh. It's difficult, man. It's difficult. So I see, damn it. We talked about it, but I was like, yeah, I know. And then you have to restart it, and then, oh man. All right, well, SPY going good. Again, a lot of things flip right there. Everything equal weight, non-equal weight, everything. I don't think I need to sell it all, but most of it. Actually, I need to see what happens, bro. I need to see what the total cost is gonna be for the or like cost to close, because I'm gonna have them pay the closing costs. So that's gonna save me like 40 grand, which will allow us to keep some. I don't need to sell all of it, but it all just depends. So ideally the plan was not to sell all of it. So, but welcome to real estate. We'll find out by the end of it. Everything flying except financials. Was it a good? It is a good price, yeah. Zillow on the high. Well, yeah, we have an accepted offer finally. Yeah, I think I have like 2 days to accept it or like get into escrow now. That's it. Whirlpool, Coinbase ripping now, and car, a lot of things. So again, SPY going a little lower, but like ARK and small caps are running. Everything's kind of matched up, 0.4, 0.5. And then again, Coinbase and then bonds, but SPY taking a little red one. Uber dying. Once you're ready, you're going to sell your Palantir. Good. That's beautiful. Again, you'll see what I end up doing, but keep in mind the taxes. So that's why if you do have like a Palantir, you guys have a Meta, and let's say you have any like big gainer in your long term, I make sure you guys keep some losses that you're holding, because when it is time to get the house, we want to make sure that you don't have to pay all that profit in taxes and that you get all of your money, and then you use your prior mistakes to pay your tax liability. So just keep that in mind, because that's good though. So I'm glad. That's why I just keep planning. And if you are using a position like that and you're like, wow, this is my down payment, think ahead of that and plan strategically. India Trade Ministry protecting Indian interests supreme in bilateral trade talks with U.S. Yeah, that's because that's what you guys are going to see. I showed you guys this like a month ago when we talked about it, but that's the beauty. Like, again, we got Meta. Like, we have Meta, Netflix, Uber, and there's Redfin. Those are all in Spotify. Fat gains in the long term. In IRM, we're talking anywhere from 200 to 1,000% on equity, right? That's insane. That's big money. But then if you go and sell it, you're going to get taxed on it. So that's where you could use all of the past mistakes so that pretty much your gain is all tax-free, and then all you're doing is using the full loss of your everything else to pretty much pay those liabilities. So just do it. It'll save you money, versus if you don't do it the right way, you'll still get all your money for the down payment, but down the line, you're going to have a tax liability. So you just got to watch out for that. But I guess you guys will see the live example depending on what we end up doing. All right. yeah, your graveyard is just prepaid taxes. If you really are going to stick to the plan, then yeah, that's all. And then you get a better dollar for dollar, write-off than you would have if you just took the loss. Woohoo! All right, SPY going back up. High-low ticker very active, or at least the high ticker is. The balance current year 3K. Yeah. This is the hack. This is the way around that. It still applies. It doesn't change the law, but it's understanding, what is it? What did you call it, Ryan? You called it napkin accounting, napkin write-offs or something. Okay, Boeing's running. Boeing, Coin, and a few others, but all of these runners, anything that had strength even from last week, they're just going, man. Lagarde interest rates, best tool to tame inflation. Other tools in ECB toolbox, but we prefer to use rates. Coin, constant pop, 2 Boeings. And the SPY, JP. Remember, financials were kind of lagging. So, yeah, JP Morgan's a little all over. We had Goldman last week, too. Boeing and the Giant Beach. Oh, James Cash. Let's go, baby. Mr. Dr. James Cash. What up, baby? Happy Monday. Or not. You kidding me? Kidding me? Stop it. Yo, bro. Thank you, my friend. Come on, how's your weekend, man? You have a good one? Oh, yeah, let's go. Let's go. Boeing made the bomb. Oh, the bunker busters? Man, I heard so many talks. I saw so many videos on bunker busters this week. Did you see them everywhere? I feel like everybody was talking about military artillery all weekend. Several Gulf states are on high alert for U.S. interest on their soil will be targeted. Circle, bro. I can't believe I had a 240, a 220, and I sold out at 4,000%, and I was happy. So, I don't know. This is why the stock market gets so emotional. Because you could do that, and you'll still be like, what? How did I didn't... What? So, yeah, here we are. Here we are. Zillow, bro. I've seen Zillow like 6 times. Every day, even from last week. But yeah, it hasn't gone anywhere. Glorious 3 closings this month? What? It's amazing, bro. It's awesome. And dude, I don't know. It just all depends on the area, but I'm actually pretty surprised. I'm seeing some very, very good data pickup in real estate. That's why I'm like, we'll see, man. And then if we do get some low rates, come on. AIRO, Tesla again. Watch that AIP one. That was the premiums jump, but that stock's still just holding. Even had that from last week. Boeing's going up, and then Tessie, 7.6, bro. My goodness. In Maine, I'll put that in my thing and see. I want to see if I can get the real-time price trends. Where did I put it? Citron pumping Teladoc. All right, SPY's kind of going nuts. Yeah. Oh, wow. So Boston has overtaken New Jersey. And then who else? Who's that one? Cleveland. Cleveland El Ria. No fucking way. What is this shit? Yeah, bro. There's a place in Cleveland that's popping off. Oh, hell yeah. That's a good. We should go find it. Arrow going vertical. Arrow group up 15. Yeah, even the SPY's going nuts. How do you say it? Elaria? That Elaria Cleveland is popping right now. Elaria, Ohio? Elria, Ohio. Yeah. I have no idea what it is. Yeah, dude, Tesla, we could have got it 1% this morning. Just did 6 in the last hour. China foreign minister met with India national security advisor in Beijing. Two sides should handle sensitive issues. And then Russia, Rybakov says Iran has full right to self-defense. Illyria. Oh, there it is. Tesla shares up 8.2, Habibi. No way. That's been a shithole. Is it really? It's popping. So it's on my real-time chart. It actually, El area is about to overtake Jersey in terms of like activity this year. Remember, I've been telling you guys how active New Jersey has been. So New Jersey has been an area in America. No matter what's gone on, their real estate's acting like it's 2021. So, and it really has to do with inventory. But in this case, there's been a few other places that just popped off, and now, yeah, Illyria is running. Boeing still going up there. SPY near the high. Oh my goodness. CFO and CL 1% from that abandoned cohort. That's not guidance. Citron. Well, yeah, there's a reason to be in Jersey, but just the fact of the matter is inventory. That's it. New Jersey, there's just so many less houses for sale, and then people wanted to move there, and then they were moving out of other places, but Jersey is just simply an inventory crisis. That's it. There's just simply not enough properties there, and then there's just a high demand. That's why in a world where like real estate was, Austin, Texas, real estate's going down 10, 20%. It's kind of crazy. But you go to Jersey, it's up 20% because of this situation in terms of supply and people selling and willing to move and all that. Jersey in the house. Negative 10%. Yeah, dude. Austin. It's a nice place. I still haven't been. I got to go. Actually, I did drive around there, but, I'm glad we didn't. I wanted to build a lot out there. I wanted to buy a lot of property, but everybody was just being an asshole. And my rules kept me safe. So I'm glad, bro. I'm glad. Tesla. Yeah, it was. It's still up there. They went up. It just went up too much, though. But there was a lot of people. If you bought it before 2020 or even a little later in 2020, you were good. But anybody who bought afterwards, like I'm saying, there's people underwater. And I had a lot of deals in houses that in Austin where they wanted a lot of money, and then, you know, fast forward a couple years, like they're willing to sell the property less than what they wanted me to buy it for several years ago, which is kind of unusual. That doesn't usually happen in real estate. Most of the properties, when I go back to them, they're substantially higher. WhatsApp banned on house staffer devices. U.S. attacks Iran facilities sets bad precedent. Warby on the high. Dude, and then Tesla is just still going. Well, there you go. Everybody waiting for the cyber cabs. Israeli military issues evacuation warning to residents of Tehran. So, are they going to attack again? So, literally, Israel's telling people to leave in Tehran. Shopify. Again, high ticker's almost fully gassed. So, again, you just had a war headline, no real reaction, but even then, and then actually crude's down $1 from the top. But then, yeah, you're just melting up, and then you're getting some updates. But yeah, oil's at the low now. So this is the lowest you've been since like Friday. Remember Friday in the gulag when everyone's trying to figure out what's going on? You were back there, but still 72.95. So yeah. Breaking news, CNN quoting senior Iranian official, war could last 2 years and we're prepared for that. See Tesla.
Oh yeah, the cyber attack, Austin, Texas. Yeah. Save government money. Yeah, with the cyber, no driver steering wheel.
What? The fuck are you saying, Elon?
Yeah, I don't do drugs. Look at my drug test. Yeah.
Okay. All right, why not? SLF. What the fuck is that? Okay, Netflix, Zeta, and Meta, I think. Yeah. So again, a lot more big cap. If you could get Google and Microsoft to play along, I think that'll be good. Because again, Tesla lifts up the index. You guys remember when Tesla was going down on the Trump shit? That like actually affected the index here. So just don't forget, that's still in play when you're up 7%. Habibi. Oh, Circle. Cormel. Oracle. Arc. What's that? Critical Metal. CRML. That thing's popping 5%. You would have never guessed. No, you guys would have this happened every day last week. You guys don't remember? Israel did a crazy attack out of nowhere and we're like, what the fuck? And then oil rockets up. And then by the time the market opens up, it calms down. And then everyone's like, yeah, nothing. And then after the bell, another attack. And we're like, oh my God. And then you wake up and then it comes back down. And then you're like, yeah, nothing. That's exactly what we did on Friday. Yeah, 2 weeks. I'll give him 2 weeks. I'm just kidding. We lied to the public to attack Iran. We did it. And then everyone's like, oh my gosh. And then the market opens. You're like, yeah, the worst is behind us. So yeah, we're going to do that a couple of times. But it's not unusual. I don't know. That's why I think a lot of people in the market are acting like this is surprising. But I'm like, dude, you guys just did this every single day last week. No? Was this not exactly what we have done? Where it's freak out about Middle East, oil, but then intraday, nobody cares. And then you're like, okay, it's not that bad. And then it gets worse. And then you react. And then you play that over and over again. the worst is behind us. Why is Israel attacking? I don't know, man. So I'm just telling you what I hear on Wall Street. I don't necessarily agree. I think we're going to have a lot of oil volatility all summer, and the SPY cannot be affected. That is my take that I agree with. But other than that, like I'm saying, you just like even yesterday, even when I guessed the open, I was like, all right, market will go. I didn't think oil would even go that crazy. There was just a weird vibe of a lot of people just willing to fade this news. And it kind of makes sense. You know, anybody who has tried to play the war plays, it lasts for a little bit and then everybody gets clapped. I mean, look at Ukraine, look at what happened October 7th, 2023, all of those events. So, you know, you just got to be mindful of it, and then you see how, you know, how Wall Street behaves with it. You know, it's clearly there's going to be an issue. Wall Street will react when shit happens, right? And then when nothing's happening, they're going to go right back to, well, let's look about the future and then the money, and then before you know it, you're at a new all-time high. That's why I hold a long term, always and forever. But yeah, this is why, like, the stop-and-go war headlines, though, like, you guys are trained on it. You lived through it already. You know how it's going to play out. So don't overthink it. Don't confuse yourself. Don't rack your brain trying to, you know, why is the market doing, like, come on, you've seen this. You've done this already several times. So let's see, Habibi, let's see. The Israel, bro, it's funny you said that, because I was even thinking about that, because like a lot of people started bringing it up, and I'm like, how come no one ever talks about the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange? Do you think that's interesting? Like, literally nobody talks about the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange, and it's ripping. And everybody likes to bring up, you know, money and cultures, you know? But how come nobody talks about the Tel Aviv stock market? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but here we are. So, yeah, the Tel Aviv stock market, every attack, it goes up. Believe it or not, if you haven't looked, I looked. So, yeah, but the Tel Aviv stock market, it goes up anytime they attack Iran. I can't make this shit up. So you guys are looking at oil and U.S. stocks and but meanwhile, the small country that's doing the attacking, they're ripping every time they drop a bomb. So, ta-da! But yeah, there it is. Boom. GitLab on the hype. I need to go pee. Pepsi 120. Come on, let me get a commercial, dog. Okay, I'll be right back. Follow me on Instagram at The Trading Fraternity. Real Coat News on Twitter. Good morning, Chatadonia. Bro, life is beautiful, you guys, okay? And when you say that, when there's a war going on, you're going to have some asshat, and he's going to be like, but what about the war? Shut up. Enjoy your life, okay? Smile. It's a beautiful day. Get the wonder back. Get the enchantment. Google and Meta. I'll see you in Amplantar. I'll see you in a little bit. BRB.
They target U.S. military presence in the region. There are 40,000 troops in the Middle East. Or perhaps they activate agents and sleeper cells around the world. They do have that around the world, including in the United States. And they could try to activate them for certain terrorist attacks or targeted assassinations, as they have tried in the past. But remember that this is a regime at the moment that is extremely weak. It derives most of its power from its nuclear program. And at this point, they want to survive. And they know that the U.S. or Israel would respond significantly if they were to take harsh action in response.
Hagar, Matt has been pointing out a really important point all morning, which is how long and drawn out would the tensions be? Now, part of this is around the nuclear non-proliferation treaty, and you had a Iranian official this morning saying that the most recent attacks had demonstrated that the existing NPT framework has been rendered ineffective. What does it mean to have this kind of a blow for that treaty?
Well, to be honest with you, the striking of the nuclear program is not what undermines the treaty. It was the regime's own enrichment. I mean, you don't enrich uranium to 60% in a hidden mountain if you have peaceful purposes for it. That's a farce. And in the U.S. government, for as long as I was in the U.S. government, working in counter-terrorist financing, working in counterterrorism, working to undermine the threats posed by the Iranian regime, which, by the way, pose about 75% of the threats that we face from the Middle East and Middle Easterners themselves, that's undermined by their own doing. We know that they were building a nuclear weapon, that was their target. And by the way, that wiping Israel off the face of the earth was their stated goal. In fact, they had a clock in a square called Palestine Square that counted down to the year 2040, by which they wanted to eliminate Israel. And the Israelis obliterated that clock, by the way. Death to America was their chant. So you can't, it's hard to analyze this without understanding the Iranian regime itself and its goals, which are rooted in a fundamentalist, ideological, extreme form of Shia Islam.
Hagar,
and that goal is meant to spread terrorism across the region, divide the world, and spread that extreme form of Islamic rule around the world.
Hagar, how much?
Cannot reason with something like that, but that's why they are the ones who undermined that treaty, not the United States or Israel.
Hagar, how much confidence do you have that the Iranians haven't developed a nuclear weapon or gotten hold of one from any of their allies?
No, they certainly haven't gotten a hold of one. That's something we would have known by now. Certainly the IAEA would have known that by now. In May, the IAEA put out a report saying that even while it was negotiating with the Trump administration, that the Iranian regime had surged its enrichment of weapons-grade uranium by 50%, and that they had enough material to produce 10 nuclear weapons. So we knew that this is the latest assessment, and the intelligence that we had was certainly when I was in the government, but also, by the way, from the Israelis. The Israelis have remarkable intelligence on the Iranian regime and what's going on inside Iran. We would have known by now if they had a nuclear weapon or if one of their allies were to try to smuggle them one. That doesn't really fit anyway within the goals of their allies. Don't forget that even though Russia and China are their allies, they don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. They want to have nuclear weapons. They want to remain powerful. And those are two governments that, while they might be friendly or they might derive benefit from being friends with Iran, they don't want to see an extremist Islamist regime. That's not what they've ever supported. They've fought against that within their own countries. And so I wouldn't be worried about something like that. I would be worried about Iran being close to one, because if they have a nuclear weapon, not only does it threaten the existential state of Israel, and by definition, by extension, the United States, because Israel's an ally, but it also would create a nuclear arms race across the Middle East, which is something we cannot have in a region as volatile as the Middle East.
Hagar, we thank you so much for your time. That is Hagar Kamali. She's the former director for Syria and Lebanon at the National Security Council at the White House. I want to take a check on markets here, because really interesting moves across asset classes. You are seeing Brent crude now around $76.30. That is almost 1% lower. You got above $81 last night amid the concerns about oil prices as tensions brew more directly in the Middle East. You do have also the S&P 500 up 0.5%, but still below, just a touch below 6,000. A bid in the dollar and a bid in the bond market,
just
both at
below
the long and the short end, which leads us to our next guest, Dan Moorhead, founder and managing partner at Pantera Capital. Before Dan...
Thank you. All right, man. I don't think you have any other data. We got bond auctions this week. Unless is there one today, or is that tomorrow? But yeah, other than that, everybody's still just back and forth. But I hope you guys see today, like, remember Friday? Friday was everybody like, all right, it's chill. Yeah, nah, this. Okay, we'll wait 2 weeks. Today, everybody's arguing about the justification and all of this. And like I said from the AM, bro, just right when we started, when it's all said and done, you still have not gotten the like real Iranian response. You know, again, they fired back at Israel after they took out all of the leaders, but other than that, like, dude, there's been no response. So everybody's just now speculating about Trump, about the countries, what's gonna happen, even NATO. You guys know the irony is that there's a NATO summit this week. So we're gonna see where that all plays out, my friends. And then, yeah, dude, well, for other reasons, you know, I think this event is like getting in the way. You guys don't forget, you're a couple weeks away from like the world changing. And what I'm talking about is the spending bill. Make no mistake. Remember, I was telling you that is the most important thing. I've been telling you that's going to change the money supply. Once we know the spending bill and whether we have an answer, that is going to decide everything. So just keep in mind, you could be focused on earnings, you could be focused on the war, but July 4th, July 6th, that's when we're going to get that info. And that info, I think, is probably the most important. So just don't get distracted, you know, and maybe there is important stuff, and I'm not saying Iran is not important, but, you know, make sure you know what other pieces of the puzzle we're still juggling. And I think one big piece of that puzzle is the spending bill. So get ready. Get ready. It could either be rocket fuel for the stock market, or that could be like your death sentence to inflation. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to see. July 4 months ago. Amen, bro. Amen. I'm right there with you. It's a good date to know. And happy America. Boeing still, man. So again, Cash Open gave you a lot of runners. Yeah, even then, Powell too. So bill and then rates. Anything on Hinge? No, I don't know what that is. Google. If they pass the biggest bill, well, let's see where the money goes. And that's this. I'll stand by it. I do think this is going to be different than COVID. So believe me, I know a lot of us, we want an easy game plan. And we want this to, you know, they print a bunch of money, go follow the COVID game plan, but I don't think it's going to work. Just because, like I'm saying, this type of money, $3 trillion of it is in the form of a tax cut. That plays out different than giving $2 trillion in direct payments with 0% rates. You guys get what I'm saying? So you're going to have high interest rates and a big tax cut. How that transfers to the economy, spending, housing, assets, that's going to be a little tricky because we don't know. Again, even the permanent deductions is going to benefit certain classes and certain industries more than others. So we just got to see where the money is going to go, and then who's going to be getting certain grants, and even some of the defense money. Where does that start like leading to, again, government demand in the economy? So it's going to be fascinating, but I am curious as to what sort of, you know, pass through on the economy you get from a tax cut. We have ideas, but it's just going to look different than what you saw during 2020. Because 2020, they never cut taxes. 2020, they just gave you money. You know, they increased the money supply and printed it, but you weren't getting like, you know, pseudo income from paying less taxes. Powell cuts because inflation is lower or economy slowing. I mean, at this point, probably because the economy is slowing. That's why he's not willing to. Because even though inflation's came down, everything's doing good. So I think if he really finally pivoted, it would probably be because the economy was getting weaker, as the Fed has usually done. But this time around, again, the Fed has been a little odd. Yeah, the WhatsApp getting banned on congressional devices, that's coming out again. Palantir. Chinese embassy in Qatar reminds Chinese citizens to strengthen safety precautions. So Tesla, Boeing, and Palantir, they're all running up. SPY's still near the high, bro. It's actually, you've moved 1% on the NASDAQ, down bottom to top. So it's a pretty big one. Equate, Dow, Russell, they're all green. And then, like I'm saying, Tesla, Palantir, Boeing, those are your leaders. Let me get you guys a checkup. We've been here for an hour and 15. So let's see what we have. Not bad. SPY 350 in the green, 150 in the red. Dow Jones 20 in the green, 10 in the red. And then NASDAQ 75 green, 25 red. It's about 75% green on all the indexes, give or take. You got a quarter red. Yeah, China, UK, and USA all issued shelter-in-place orders from Qatar now. Excuse me. Yeah, Google wakes up. You get Google, Microsoft, Amazon. You'll be looking good. But again, Tesla at 8% is huge, and that has a S&P effect. So make no mistake. If the taxes do affect inflation, it would be more of a slow melt up. Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. It could be a slow melt up, or maybe it doesn't affect real estate in the same way. Or again, what happens to jobs though too? So there's many ways. Or if they start giving, you know, grants like clean energy with what Biden did, like that affected a lot of industries tied into that. So, you know, we're going to see where, you know, Trump is going to give money to manufacturers, and then that's going to create its own little wave of stuff. So that's why we got to see what gets approved on. And then once we know where the money is heading out to, then we'll be able to go from there. But definitely you're on the right track, where just, again, how the inflation dynamic can be different than what you saw, because it's not this big burst just going to people's hands into their wallet. Like, you're not getting thousands of dollars ready to spend. You are going to save money in April every year, or May, or whatever, when you get your tax returns and all that. And that's going to have a different effect. Tesla 355. Are you kidding me? Yeah, dude, if it's running today. But if it's not, it's just holding within line. But it's not like the market's small. Like I'm saying, you did move a decent amount already. Mobileye, again, we kept seeing Intel too, but not as much. Iran can't be that stupid. They're not. They're really smart. And I know some of you will get mad if I say that, but let me put it into context for you. Do you realize the Iranian, like the regime right now, do you realize they low-key were one of the first people to use like social justice in their favor, like perception-wise? Like, you know how you guys see everybody nowadays and they'll be like, you're racist, you're this, and everybody it's not as much, but like 4 years ago, that was like the thing. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Do you realize so again, Khomeini, not Khamenei. Khamenei is the new guy. But the revolution, when it started in the 70s, Khomeini, he went to France and he played that card, and it worked on everybody in the West, if you're not familiar. So they're smarter than you think. they're highly educated. People that are not, again, I don't know if they're aware or not, but you'll be surprised because I already saw Khamenei already talk about certain social issues. So I'm fascinated with what they're gonna do next because I think it's gonna be a mix of force and other stuff, but they're also gonna try to play, I think, a social justice card to try to get the world on their side. You would be surprised. Again, they did it before. They'll probably do it again. And again, a lot of people are just not familiar with this. Again, that's why I was saying it yesterday. I was just like, bro, this all stems from 1970, even before. Like, this goes and it ties into how we, like, you got to understand how we got here. How did you get the Iranian Republic of Islam? People don't know that it's that. Again, Iran was in the longest constitutional monarchy was Iran. Your history of constitutions is start in Iran. It's crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, it's this is all just the next step in, you know, the post-revolution from 40, 50 years ago. So, yeah, very wild. Very, very wild. As a Persian. You nailed it. I mean, it fascinates me, and I love all of history, so I encourage you all to look into it if you're fascinated, and you'd be surprised, like, you know, this Middle East stuff. There's a lot. It didn't just, like, arrive out of nowhere. And, you know, most of us were young, too, at other situations, and most of you probably remember Iraq and Afghanistan. You were probably older or younger at the time, but, like, that was everybody's, like, experience with the Middle East, and that was a long time ago, but that was still the modern era. And there was still the 70s, 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, what that all built into, and then now you have our modern era. Yes, they invented the refrigerator. Well, and I think for your guys' context, this is where it gets another part of importance. Iran is rich. Do you guys realize the Ayatollah is balling? So again, Khamenei is balling right now. And nobody knows the amount because it's secret, but you could reasonably estimate that the Iranians, at least Khamenei, they have at least $300 billion at their disposal. What is it? Sadat? No, that's what is it? I said this yesterday. I always burn the word, but Sadat or something like that. They have a fund that's where the Shah's, all of his assets was in this fund, and then when Ayatollah and Khamenei took over, they took all of these assets, and that's where it still remains. So again, they're in control of a fuck ton of money. Like, you would be surprised. It's not like, so people, when you ask yourself about Iran and where they are in the global picture, their history is insane, and in a good way. I don't mean it in a bad way. It's like, dude, this is most of what you know about, like, societies. Iran has a very important role. Even World War II, West Germany, defense spending, even fucking Mercedes, for crying out loud, all ties into Iran at some degree. But even modern, they have money. So it's not just oil, too. If you think it's just oil and energy assets, no, they control 3.5% of all global energy production, but they have a very shadowy control of other financial assets that is in a scope of hundreds of billions. Some would say trillions, but nobody will ever know until we get insight or eyes on it. But yeah, it's nuts, bro. The Shah, yeah, bro, they could make a movie on the Shah. Like, if you casted like a Arab Leonardo, you know what I'm saying, and just called it the Shah, it would be a crazy movie. Again, leading in from the revolution and not. Have you heard of the big party? So do you know the Shah threw the biggest party in the world? This actually was like right before the revolution. Some would argue that it led to the downfall, but he threw one of the biggest. It was a $3 billion party or something. And literally no citizens were allowed, and they only invited all of the major leaders from around the world. It was a crazy. Again, this was before social media. This was before, the weddings and the Adonis and all of that. The Shah, bro. It was crazy. Persia. Isn't Iran one of the worst economies? I don't know about that, but it changed. But to give some credit, it was already starting to fail under the Shah. So it was a booming economy. It was the golden goose of the Middle East under the Shah, and then it got to that point where the Shah was just getting kind of like, he wanted to westernize and modernize, but he needed to fight against communism, feudalism, and a lot of other things. So he used religion as a defense, but he was trying to advance, Iran and Tehran like it was a Western society. That's why they did it in a certain way. But long story short, by the end of the Shah, like right before the revolution, the economy was already overheating. They had the oil money, they had everything else, but it was already starting to decline. You mix that with the social, the religion, and everything else, that was the perfect storm to lead to the downfall. And then after, again, Khomeini, it wasn't Khomeini. Khomeini followed in line. Eventually it was Khomeini, but then the economy it hasn't done good in modern times, but you could argue it was failing before they shifted to the Islamic Republic. So all depends. But yeah, I might have to pull you guys I might have to get you guys we might have to do a macroeconomic lesson on it. I just love it. I think it's all fascinating, guys. This is what I bust out all these fun facts for you depending on the conflict. I remember when we were getting into the Palestine-Israel stuff too, but that one was a little bit more touchy because they'll ban you. But at the end of the day, I do think Iran, understanding some of this Middle East stuff, it's good to know. Like, I don't think this is going to leave you uneducated. And like I'm saying, my experience, the more I've learned about this is why, like, context, I just realize what's connected. Like I'm saying, like, when I hear Iran, I'm not thinking of, like, I don't know, you guys probably think like people wearing cowboy hats, holding AK-47s or something. I don't know what you imagine. I'm imagining the Shah. I imagine Iranian revolution and just like a society that was, pivotal from post-World War II to today, that just had like a lot of big changes. Iran was in the middle, or Iran came before or after, depending on what happened. And it's very, very fascinating. So yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, it's not, there was a lot of things that led up to this, even the revolution. So the last time they had a regime change, it was, again, the Shah, it was 4 months. It was one of the fastest revolutions, because little by little, the leadership in Iran was failing, and then before you know it, all these different parties came in. That's where this idea of an Islamic Republic got really, really strong. And then it was 4 months to go from one problem to the Shah left and didn't return, and then he had to go hide in Egypt. My people. So that's the very. Oh, there's one more part about it. But yeah, Iran, our response to U.S. attacks will be proportionate. He was sick. He died of cancer about like 10 years after he fled, and then he couldn't come back. That was it. But yeah, he died in Egypt. The Egyptians, so again, he married an Egyptian, and I think Reza Khan wanted a partnership. The Shah was Reza's son, and he understood why he needed to marry an Egyptian, but some argue that his dad wanted him to, and the whole idea was Syria or Iranians marry the Egyptians, get into good relations, and then it's there. And then ironically enough, one of his only allies at death was Egypt. He died in Egypt. He's buried in Egypt. The Shah was there. Yeah, Pharaoh was Egyptian. Yeah, so even then, even Farah, she was crazy too, in a good way. This is where at times it was wild. The Shah put a woman in the government. That was unheard of at the time. And that's where people didn't like what he was doing. He was modernizing, but he literally he had his wife making state decisions. That was absolutely unheard of. And then they used that as one of the reasons to, why they were saying, no, we want Islamic Republic. But yeah, but again, and then she was Egyptian. And that was a very political marriage when it was all said and done. Yeah, the CIA did have their hands on it. That's widely known. The CIA kept the Shah in power when he was young. So when his father died, and he was supposed to be this young guy that came in, the CIA pretty much defended him and helped him get the regime change and help him take over power from his father. They kept him in place, and then, you know, he played along. He made deals with everybody. He was really about modernization. He didn't like the West, but he liked tech. Literally, the Shah in the 70s loved technology. He loved it. But that's why people got mad, because by trying to become modern, you are inadvertently becoming westernized. And again, a lot of the people who didn't want to become Western, they were really, really against that. Yeah, I'm telling you, bro, Iran, there's a reason why everybody cares about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You never asked yourself why Iran, like, why do we make a big deal every time you hear Iran? Iran. There's a lot that goes into it. Oh, LLC for trading? Yeah, if you get trader tax status. That was the 70s. Persia was dope, but it was weird. It was like a dictatorship. It was a constitutional monarchy. It was weird. And then they had the clergy. So the Ayatollah, the religion side, they had that the whole time. They had a clergy, like kind of like the Pope, but this was Islamic. And then they were like, yo, we need to strengthen the clergy. He wanted to show respect to the religion so that all of the OGs were like, yeah, he's a good kid. And then again, at the end of the day, like, ask yourself, dictatorship, but you want like a sprawling modern city, but then you're running to religion at the same time. Like, what are you doing? You got to really think about it. Why would they do all of that during this time of the early 70s, late 60s? You know, and then think about it. Really think, even to the 80s. There was a real fight that they were going against. That's why he was trying to do both. He was trying to have both. How do you become American and then double down on Islamic government style? How do you have a republic but then still be a dictator? There was just so many things to it, but you got to think about it. At the time, they were fighting communism. That was the issue. They were fighting feudalism, socialism. They didn't want, so you could go become modern and you could have this nice city. What happens when you start flourishing and becoming rich? The people get stupid and then they want to go to socialism. So that was their defense. They were like, well, listen, if we have religion, they're not going to go to socialism. But and then they tried that, but essentially the thing that he thought would defend against socialism ended up taking over the country. Ta-da! Angel ECB in a good position on interest rates. Okay, Boeing again and the SPY. That history lesson, the SPY chilled. So yeah, I'm just spitballing off the top of my head, depending on what you guys bring up. So I hope it was interesting though. A lot of little fun facts. Get a little bit up to speed in terms of context. But yeah, there's a lot of history. Yeah, we got the Iran response thing. So they said, but remember they said they were gonna surprise the world that day. Next day, their shit got blown up. So I don't know, man. And then I'm gonna give you tinfoil right now, bro. You guys heard about the sleeper cells, right? I think it's 10. Because again, I was telling you almost a month ago now about the security threat. And I was telling you guys about the Middle East. I was like, bro, this has nothing to do with immigration. People are pissed at the Middle East scenario and they just silence all of the opposition. That's why they're getting really mad. So, but I keep hearing everyone say, they're like, Iran's gonna activate the sleeper cells, and I'm like, dude, sounds like propaganda. Though I had so many people in the like 12 hours of the attack, they're like, my friend, I know someone here, Iran, the head of Al-Qaeda said this. So I don't know. I think the concept is true. I mean, you should have been worried about, you know, sleeper cells a long time ago. You don't remember? You guys don't remember that one video? I had to show this to my girl because she was like, that was real? What? Here, I'll show you. Yeah, you don't remember this? This was a year ago.
By the way, if you are smart enough, you will know who I am. But you are really not smart enough to know who I am. But soon you're gonna know who I am. Very easy.
Wow, very easy. The entitlement.
No, believe me, I'm much better than that.
The entitlement, guys. Wow.
Dude, you don't remember that? You don't remember a year ago, they stopped people at the border from Mexico. And then this Middle Eastern guy, you'll know who I am, Habibi. You'll know who I am. I show you. You will know who I am. So the concept is real. But that's what I'm saying. I don't deny that. But I think like right away, everybody just started putting out the messaging like, So either way, I said it a while ago where I was just like, man, this Middle East thing is, you know, it's caused a lot of tension. And that's why, like, I don't think it's about immigration. I think it's something else. You can't make this up. There's a prediction in Robinhood about hot dog eating contest. Very euphoric. Amen. You should, I mean this as positively as possible. You guys should rejoice in this. Okay? For real. Some of you it's sad, and I don't want to watch people fuck their shit up, but guess what? More for us. That's the reality, you guys. So for all of you who are sitting here every day and you fight the urge to gamble, my friend, you're going to win. Like, you see what I'm saying? What do you think's going to happen in 5-10 years of your peers where you're taking your money and you're being wise, putting it towards high quality assets? What do you think's going to happen when they're putting $50 here, $100 here, $200, $300, and then they keep doing it, playing little hot dogs and gamble? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I don't like Robinhood, because they open up the door for young. They know their clientele. I know their fucking clientele. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad, and I don't want people to fail, but everybody has their choice, and that's why I'm saying, unfortunately, though, it gives us an opportunity where you guys are about to fucking lap your peers at a crazy level if society and investing keeps going down this path. And that's fine. Like I'm saying, we could try to stop it. We will help everybody out who wants it for free. But at the end of the day, man, this is why I'm encouraging all of you, these little areas to, like, you know, it's just like driving on the narrow road, bro, and everything like flashing lights. They're trying to get you here. Come here. But that's why I'm like, dude, if you stay on the road, you avoid these little traps to losing your money, you know, death by 1,000 cuts. You think about it. Your peers are going to fall for it. Yeah, you're watching them fall for it. That's why they made a market for it. That's why they're offering it. They advertise it with no shame at all either. So we already know it's going to happen. That's why I'm saying, yeah, fuck yeah, separate yourself. You want to be in the 1%, do what the 1%. You're going to do it, don't do what the 99 is doing. In this case, that's why I'm saying, you know, you can make your gambles. I gamble here and there. Like I'm saying, I understand the markets, and I know you're going to see your opportunities, but just keep in mind that in the long term, in the long run, and all these little opportunities to part from your money, if you do it, it will rob you. But if you could keep that money and grow it, my friend, you know, and everybody else is parting with it, dude, what do you think is going to happen to you, bro? You're going to do great. So, amen, baby. Amen. That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm hyped on the long term. We're doing good. We're outperforming, still halfway done with the year. We got the cash. You're seeing the opportunities. So it's already worked, man, and it's gonna do good for you. But you know, it really comes down to best way to go to heaven is avoid hell. So just stay out of trouble, man. Stay out of trouble and you'll be good. Offering mortgages? No, it's not that crazy. That's the thing, though. That's what I've realized with Robinhood after they did it. They're an affiliate company, you guys. They're not offering these products. They're just selling your lead. You're the lead. Do you get it? You sign up for the credit card. They don't offer a credit card. They have a bank that does the card for you. They're just taking a 5% referral fee. You guys understand? So now they're making money off mortgage leads every time you're like, I want a mortgage. They don't offer a mortgage. They don't fucking have that. They're gonna take the deal, sell the lead to a bank that they partnered with and say, so and so wants a mortgage. They opted in. Here you go. Go call them and close the deal. That's what they do. Every single one. That's why I made that tweet. I was like, man, I think I had it all wrong. They are good at it. They're one of the best affiliate companies out there. I don't think it's a bank. I don't know what it is. I just know that they got that on lock. It's the affiliate marketing. They take all they're just taking their finder's fees off of everybody who uses the platform. 100%. Explosion heard in southwestern city of Avaz in Iran. Air defenses activated. My thoughts on hymns, I don't like it. The Robinhood charts and chain has gotten better. Yeah, that's all like, makeup. Like I'm saying, every time I would tell you guys I didn't like Weeble, people are like, but the charts. So you guys can do whatever you want. I'm just telling you, just what I think on it. I don't think Robinhood's that bad, but it's bittersweet because I think Robinhood is going to make some of us a lot of fucking money in the long term, in the long run. Because it's creating this in society. I mean that genuinely. I can't stop it. I don't control it. I didn't choose to do it. So, but at the end of the day, if all of my peers want to go down that road and ignore the other stuff, I mean, I can't. I got to do what I got to do. So, it's good, but just be mindful. And the long-term success. Circle again. Microsoft now, and then again, you had another attack in Iran. HD on the high. Iranian media political source: Iran is likely to attack U.S. military facilities in the coming hours. So wait till that gets confirmed. If that gets confirmed, oil should start taking a bid. Just like we saw on Friday, remember the headlines would come in and then it would lag for like 10 to 30 minutes. It doesn't automatically go. So I like that headline to cause a reaction, but you got to wait till the market starts moving on it. So just see if they start getting a bid on oil and people take the Iranian media headline seriously, then it'll do its thing. Otherwise, you won't react until they actually strike. Because again, Iran has threatened many, many times and nothing's happened. So the people are prone to fading it. The Pentagon, well, they had a lot of Papa Johns over the weekend. I don't know why they didn't announce or confirm. Oil tanker earnings from Middle East leap to the highest since 2023. Okta, Microsoft. Okay, everything's kind of tripping, bro. So, like, a little bit. I just saw little tweaks in bonds and SPY. Circle's still going crazy. My goodness. And Microsoft's big lift, man. Especially if Tesla stays up, then you're going to be good. BLNE. Live updates, Israel pounds Tehran. Carvana on the high. What is this? BLNE, Beeline up 23. SAP, Microsoft, Carvana. O keeps running up as well, too. But yeah, literally all day it's just been headlines on war or not. Boom. If oil stays sustained, does that mean Fed doesn't have to cut? No, I mean, if oil goes high, like we talked about yesterday, the higher it goes and the longer it stays there, the more likely the economy is going to slow down and you'll have a recession. So, and that could mean two things for Powell, right? That could mean no rate cuts because of inflation, but then that could mean rate cuts because the economy just got cratered. So it's a very fascinating one, but just remember, oil is the lifeblood, and wherever that shit ends up, if it goes high for a long amount of time, then we have problems. But like right now, this is what I was saying yesterday, like even factor in OPEC and other things that can occur. If you get a price shock and you run up, but then it chills out and then we come back down to like low 60s by next month, who gives a shit? Nothing matters. You see what I'm saying? But if you get oil up and it goes high and it sustains that price level for a long time, then we start moving the needle into, okay, this is going to affect the economy. This is going to start affecting trade and a lot of other things. But one time, small price shock that doesn't last long, who cares? That's not going to be, that's why the market is so quick to try to bounce this off, because as long as you're not getting highly extended oil for an unusually long time, then, these levels are very, very healthy. Like you could operate, again, $60, $70 oil, even below that, this is perfect. But you get too high too fast and it stays there, now we have a problem. Yeah, bro. Do people drink? What is it called? Truly? Isn't that what they have? I came back up a little bit and then it dropped again. But yeah. Who else? Even Bud? But yeah, alcohol. I'm surprised Bud's up, but like we talked about on Friday, alcohol is essentially in a permanent decline. Like just alcohol trends, the young generation, I think the older generation, they already died if they liked alcohol. So it all depends. Is that Kashkari? Oh, is it old?
And we just don't know yet.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, yeah, I didn't know he's live. Tap. That's the other one. Yeah, but I'm glad we took the cigarette bet. Cigarettes are popular still. Or nicotine. Anything, the smoking, smokeless. But like nicotine, those trends have gotten better. But alcohol has declined. Yeah. Kids don't like alcohol. It's not. It's ruined so many lives. I feel like so is smoking, but it's just different. It's a longer, slower death rather than, people get drunk and drive and they do a lot of things. So I don't know. And then it's expensive now too. So as inflation has gone up and there's no like third place from home, if you want to go out and drink, like it's not like that's a expensive activity. Like, have you guys know that? Like, bro, you go out and you go out to a bar or a restaurant that has a bar and you order 2 drinks, you're gonna spend like $60 to $100. Like, so it's not cheap. It has certain effects, and it's just, people would rather just throw a Zin or drink a water or do something else. But yeah. I'd rather a Celsius and a gym. I know, right, bro? I be getting high off caffeine. I be loving life, dog. Just give me a fucking energy drink, bro, and some weights. Oh, dude. So down. So down. But yeah, that's those trends though, it's reflected on the market. It really is. BBVA. I am keeping an eye on Pepsi, yeah. So we get a deposit in a week. It'll be the most amount of cash we've had, I think, ever since we started. I'm about to have what? Oh, was F-Cell and then Tesla. That's what I wanted to click on. And then NVS. But yeah, bro, we're going to have a lot of cash. I'll have at least like, I think 5%, maybe 6% cash. It'll be 12,000 or 1.2 on the small account. So I'm waiting, but Pepsi is like, it's like $1 or $2 lower now. So I think, yeah, it hit. I wanted it here, but I didn't take it, the 127. So I'll wait a little bit and I'll let it work, and I'm going to see relatively, but not in a rush. Our plan is working. We're still in the lead. We're still getting paid on all of the cash that we're holding. So, you know, we'll let it turn into something good. So I'm patient. Like I said in the beginning of the year, you know, the setup that we're doing, you know, there's a reason why we're leading. You know, we came in, we bought value to start this year. We bought it before. It's let us good, but now, like I'm saying, here's the cash. I save up this cash. What if I'm wrong? If the market rips, guess what? Market rips, we're going up with it. So, amen. And that's kind of the idea. So I like Pepsi, but if I miss it, I'm not going to worry about it. I hope you guys see, because everything else is going to take care of it. But otherwise, I'm going to keep building cash. You give me a high quality blue chip and it starts to get really discounted. Like, I like Pepsi because Pepsi is equivalent to cash, essentially. Same dividend yield and everything. But it just has, again, a lot of issues right now. So we are going to wait. How does one get exposure to the Iran stock market? I think you would have to do a pilgrimage. Other than that, I'm not too. Most people don't trade Iran. I don't think they let Americans trade Iranian assets, to be honest with you. Do you know there? I think there's even disclosures. Isn't there? There's Iranian disclosures on filings. So yeah, it's not really there for most people. Hoping it's good. That'd be nice if it came down. But isn't it funny how it's playing out though? Because we're still in the lead. Half a year has gone by. Nothing has really changed much. We have all this cash, so by the time that diamond shows up, bro, we are gonna have a lot of cash. So I look forward to it, but you know, it has to be the right one, and we'll see where everything's at, relatively speaking. And that will help us out. Dude, isn't that crazy? 6 months has already gone by. So yeah, we're already halfway done with this year. Like, you're fully at the end of this month. That 6 months is there. Everyone did forget the tariffs and trade deals. But that's what I said, though, from the beginning. I think a lot of people just they made the tariff and trade deals a lot more overblown. I mean, that's why, like we talked about it, tariffs, I've said it, tariffs could cause a one-time inflation shock. We've discussed that. And everybody wanted to say it was going to end the world. And that was just not reality. And that's why so quickly something else comes up, everybody just dumps that topic. And we're following all the other narratives. And I'm sure tariffs will come back. It all just depends what happens. And remember, you're just dealing with the judges and all that other stuff. But, you know, the real things that, like conflict, I even don't think the Iran thing is going to be a big deal. It all just depends what happens in terms of, like, again, do we actually get a settlement? What goes on with oil? But, like, structurally, until the economy, Powell, spending bill, those are the real things. That's why I keep saying the spending bill, that has more weight to me than anything going on. White House, Caroline Leavitt, if they refuse to engage in diplomacy moving forward, why shouldn't the Iranian people rise up against the brutal terrorist regime? That's the question the president raised last night. But as far as our military posture, it hasn't changed. Why, dude? They're like trying to push like revolution light. You know what I'm saying, bro? They're like not trying to say it, but they're like, well, we asked the question. We don't support the regime shift, but yeah. Is that old? She's talking again, but she spoke like an hour ago. MP on the low, Genrac on the high, TEM in Home Depot.
A Fox News alert, President Trump gathering his National Security Council at the White House today as he about the effectiveness of the attack that's been relayed to you.
Mm-hmm. The president is pleased, the country is pleased, and frankly, Brian, the whole world should be pleased with the courageous action that President Trump and our United States military took on Saturday night. I want to thank, the president wants to thank the brave pilots who flew nearly 40 hours and more than 7,000 miles from the middle of America to the Middle East to conduct this highly successful and complex precision strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. This is an operation that presidents of the past have dreamed about, but no president had the guts to actually do it. But President Trump did, to take away this imminent threat, not just to the state of Israel, but to the United States and the rest of the world. So the country is a safer place today because of the president's bold action, and he has prevented a nuclear conflict. He has prevented a rogue radical regime from obtaining a nuclear bomb and threatening our people.
So I know the president's very decisive, but he also likes listening to all angles. And he's used to Democrats fighting against him. How much harder was the decision when you have people like Steve Bannon coming over for lunch saying don't do it, Marjorie Taylor Greene saying don't do it, and other voices like that? How did the president digest all that, knowing these people weren't necessarily against him, they're against pending action he more than likely was going to take?
One of the great things that makes President Trump a great leader is his ability to listen to people with different perspectives, but then ultimately make a decision based on his own instinct and the intelligence that he saw. And he saw, based on U.S. intelligence, that Iran is just weeks away from obtaining a nuclear weapon. And President Trump has been saying his entire life, not just as a presidential candidate or as president of the United States twice, but also as a private citizen, that Iran cannot obtain a nuclear weapon. And that's something that leaders around this world and on both sides of the political aisle agree with. Again, presidents dating back to Democrat Bill Clinton have said that Iran cannot obtain a nuclear weapon, but none of them had the courage to actually do something about it, and President Trump did. And nobody knows what it means to accomplish peace through strength better than President Trump. He is the one who came up with that motto and that foreign policy doctrine, and he successfully implemented it in his first term. And this is one of many steps he is taking to successfully implement peace in his second term. The president wants to see a peaceful and prosperous Middle East. He talked about that extensively when we took that historic trip to Saudi Arabia, and he talked about how the Iranian terrorist regime was bringing down the rest of the region, and our Gulf partners and allies agree with that sentiment. So the president wants peace. Sometimes you have to use strength to achieve it, and he's not afraid to use strength. And as Saturday night proved, the United States has the best and most lethal fighting force in the history of the world, and we can use it if we must.
So the president tweeted out the next day, and I agree with you, by the way, and I think most everyone.
Trump, did I hear former President Medvedev from Russia casually throwing around the N-word, nuclear, and saying that he and other countries would supply nuclear warheads to Iran? Did he really say that, or is this just a figment of my imagination? If he did say that, and if confirmed, please let me know immediately. The N-word should not be treated so casually. I guess that's why Putin's the boss, by the way. If anybody thinks... I'm reading Trump's Truth Social right now. By the way, if anyone thinks our hardware was great over the weekend, far and away the strongest, best equipment we've had, 20 years advanced over the pack, is our nuclear submarines. They are the most powerful and lethal weapons ever built, and just launched the 30 Tomahawks. All 30 hit their mark perfectly. So in addition to our great fighter pilots, thank you to the captain and crew. That was very unhinged. We just gave a new N-word, apparently, nuclear. We started off with Russia, talking shit, we go in there, and then he's like, and thank you to the troops. Thank you, those are patriots. They fly them, the Tomahawks. They don't miss. They don't miss. You can miss me, but those missiles don't miss. We should call them not missiles, because they can't miss. We should call them hiddles. But then that sounds like, you know, I know. What the fuck? So yeah, that was weird. APP 1.3. Decent, but not crazy. We actually haven't had any, like, news triggers. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That was crazy, bro. That was a lot. That was insane. All right. Well, Spy, I don't know how they're taking that. But you are going lower, and now it's Euro close. Stand up. When I move, you move. Just like that. Hey, Chad, stand up. All right, baby. We've been here for 2.5 hours. 4.5 hours left to go. Sitting is the new smoking. Please get beside your desk and do 10 push-ups. Come on, can't do 10. You do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anything. Just stand up. Move around. We got a long day. There's wars. Okay? Honestly, you might end up getting drafted. So you better start working out now. It'll be easier for you. Okay? So everybody stand up. Chest to the sun. Flex the core. Tuck the hips in. And you will be good. Oh, man. Bro, I was doing those toe exercises, bro. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. App is still going. All right, I'm gonna have to, like, yeah, hold on. I'm gonna be away from the mic if I need to do this stretch. Stand up. All right, I'll play this. You guys can get more propaganda. That's what sucks when there's conflict, bro, and like you turn on the TV. Oh man, it's just rough out there, bro. It's rough out there. But yeah, there it is.
Activity, and the key there is that this is a threat actor who's been prolific and brazen, but not particularly sophisticated, and so it really speaks to the kind of level of threat and the specific things that U.S. companies and organizations and individuals are going to have to be looking out for.
So perhaps not that sophisticated, perhaps the bark is worse than the bite, but Iran has primarily targeted who in the past?
Well, the real answer to that would be Israel. There's been an incredible amount of Israel-Iran cyber activity over the years, back and forth. But in the U.S., there's been a long history of Iranian cyber activity of varying levels. They've targeted, famously, they targeted U.S. financial institutions. About 10 or 15 years ago, they were able to get some top Wall Street banks off the internet. They've also targeted individuals that they deem to be, enemies of the regime. They've done defacements, they've done ransomware. So it's a wide gamut of targets, and a lot of it is about the psychological impact. A lot of it is about looking powerful, intimidation, rather than a real demonstrable impact in many cases.
And I imagine defense contractors, government bodies right now are really bracing themselves, Patrick. But what has also been demonstrated is the impact that Israel has had on Iran in terms of cyber as well. What have we seen over the last few weeks?
It's been really interesting. So to describe what we've seen, we have to preface it with the potentially obvious fact that there is a really significant fog of war right now, so we're still doing our best to understand. But most notably, there is a group called Predatory Sparrow, and it maintains this image of a hacktivist activist group, but it's been engaged in some really high-profile activity. It's taken a huge Iranian bank offline because of alleged links to the IRGC, the Republican looking guard. It's essentially burned tens of millions of dollars in crypto from a major Iranian crypto exchange, again, because of links to evading sanctions. And it's all really been in the effort of having a psychological impact. Again, I mean, don't get me wrong, the financial impact is significant, but I think it's about, in their case, showcasing that the emperor has no clothes in this case, and that Israel, this group that most experts say is aligned with Israel, is really able to operate freely during this conflict.
Fascinating. Patrick Howell O'Neill, do come back. Thanks so much. And let's just stick with defense tech more broadly now. Marlinspike is a notable VC investor in the sector, backing companies such as Palantir, Shield AI, Anduril. Marlinspike CEO Neil Keegan joins us now. Look, you've been in this game a long time. What is it, since 2020? You've been backing some of these names. Palantir's near a record high today, so congratulations. What are we seeing in terms of the rest of the VC industry following your lead?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me, Caroline. It's an honor to be on Bloomberg, particularly on a day where there's a lot more green than red on the screen. So what we're seeing, particularly as it relates to defense technology and dual use, which is where we spend our time investing, we're looking for very disruptive companies that can make an impact on our industrial base. I mean, we're here to build with these high-growth technology companies the most robust and durable industrial base that we can. And as it relates to Iran, look, this was a long time coming for this strike, and we've significantly degraded their capabilities. But I think it highlights that a country like Iran and some of our other competitors are not going to come at us in traditional ways. We need to be ready for asymmetric threats, and that is one of the real goals for where we're investing in looking for companies that can not suffer a failure of imagination after 9/11. We need to focus on all the tools that we have at hand in terms of AI, autonomous systems, and advanced manufacturing. These are the new companies that are going to work in concert with some of the great defense companies that we have that produce our exquisite capital systems that we actually saw on display over the weekend.
Work in concert. Is that happening more at the moment, Neil?
Absolutely. And first of all, hats off to our brave men and women that planned this decisive strike. There was a lot of thought and coordination that went into this. And I like to paraphrase Admiral Paparo, who likes to say, we need not only the will, but the capability. And I think we demonstrated both with a high degree of success on Saturday evening. I do see, or we do see from our team, more coordination with the large legacy primes, and really the new, you can call them new kids in the block, but companies like SpaceX and Palantir have been around for over 20 years. And what I think is really fascinating is we're seeing a very open tie-up between these market leaders to work together so we can effectively renew Freedom's Forge 2.0, which is the coming together of the public and the private markets to defend America and our allies, so we can be ready with the best possible tech to give it to our warfighters and intelligence community.
Neil, it's interesting you say the intelligence community. We do understand still really a battle damage assessment is needed to show clarity of the effectiveness of what happened over the course of the weekend. We started this conversation, this show, with the CSIS, Emily Harding on the show, really talking about how now intelligence could be an area of innovation and of fostering. Is that something you've been looking at? How is AI changing that game?
Sure, it certainly is, and it's an integrated part. I mean, you mentioned, Palantir. Palantir was really formed in the wake of 9/11. They were an early In-Q-Tel investment. In-Q-Tel, as you and a lot of your viewers may know, has been investing in the intelligence community on behalf of our country for over 25 years. This is a group that we're very close to. We understand their return on mission. We're also in this to make great returns for our investors, but it's very important that these groups, work hand in glove together, and I see that happening, more and more.
Hopefully
and more.
You moved around.
And that's a great thing. Not only at the later stage where these companies have really blossomed and they've got product market fit, growing revenues, getting major contracts, but also on the earlier stage. We're very excited to see that it seems like almost every day there are bright young men and women that are leaving great companies like Tesla and Anduril and Palantir and SpaceX, and they're starting new companies with new capabilities, and we're excited to spend time with them and to back them in the earlier stages as well.
What's interesting is we're still perhaps wondering what the key buy signal is here for yet more contracts, Neil. We keep saying the same names time and time again, Palantir, Anduril, because they have made such moves. They have managed to intertwine themselves with the administration and get more contracts. But is that going broader? Because Emily Harding at the top of the show was sort of outlining that there's a lot of talk about allocating funds towards these startups, but sometimes not enough walk.
I would say it's a fair assessment, and I don't want to belabor the valley of death comment in our space. There's been a lot written about that. We must change what we buy, how we buy it, and get new technology with a lot of the newer entrants in the space to the warfighter. And thankfully, that is happening. In our view, it's not happening fast enough, but there are pockets of opportunity. I think Golden Dome is going to be a really good example. We're very pleased to see the new energy around this, because I think this is something that is much bigger than just counter defenses. This is an integrated, layered system, both at home and abroad. It's going to involve very exquisite programs, but also asymmetric defense. Again, I said it before, and I'll say it again. We can't failure the lack of imagination after 9/11. So we need to be very creative as it comes to homeland defense, securing our border, critical infrastructure, cyber, capital markets, and some of these newer, more innovative companies are going after this, and I think they've got a real role to play in concert with the large legacy primes, as well as the new market leaders like Anduril and Palantir.
Neil, I like the way you said there's new energy. There is new energy around, well, defense tech investing more broadly, far more VCs getting in on it, but far more big tech companies willing to go there. You think Meta and their relationship that they're now having with Anduril. You're thinking of the relations that we're seeing Google now redeploying and focusing on military applications. Has that taken you by surprise as someone who's been working on this intersection since 2020?
I wouldn't say it's taken me by surprise or our team by surprise. I mean, our team
dropping.
has been in this space a long time.
Yo, Apple getting
my
some candles. Doesn't look like news,
graduate
but
and naval officer was actually in the Arabian Gulf in the late 90s, going through the Straits of Hormuz. So, we were ready. We were ready then, and as we're ready now, we need to continue to be ready for these asymmetric threats. And I think this is where we're going to shine. And I'm actually very pleased and gratified to see this continued, not only public recognition, but having the private sector really stepped into this. And I think a lot of the tech leaders back in the late teens, I think again, Anduril is a great example where this is private capital. These are founders. These are folks that are very tech savvy.
Again,
they took a risk. They built a great company, and then now more have followed. So I think that's going to be a continued trend. And again, there are more entrants in the defense tech dual-use investing space, and that's a good thing. We need that. We are all mission-driven. We co-invest together. We share ideas. And at the bottom line is, we're in this not only for profit, but also for purpose. And that's the mission mindset I see of our cohort in this space.
Well, we take note that you've invested in 25 companies so far, and some of the leading names that have stood out in defense tech. So Neil Keegan, we listened to you with Marlin Spike. Thanks so much for joining. Coming up, Senra Systems. It aims to modernize the way a key component in aerospace and defense tech is made. We speak with Senra Systems CEO Jordan Black next. This is Bloomberg Tech.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, they say protect residents, citizens, and visitors. So yeah, you're gonna get something there, but that's been the other development we've gotten today. Whatever it seems like, Iran is going to attack a U.S. base, or at the very least, everybody's preparing against it. And even Israel, the guy again, the ambassador came on this morning, and he was even saying how everybody still has, I don't even think they're working. They're all just even, I think they've all been instructed to stay near shelters. So very, very wild. Nominal damage, I do too. Well, remember, some people got injured last time, but yeah, I think it's symbolic. That's why they're giving warnings if they know where it's going to be, and then Iran's going to attack a base back, and then that way they could say they did something, and then we see. Because I even talked about it yesterday, bro. The whole thing, there's a whole part of this situation that I don't think people have really talked about. We just, Israel attacks Iran, pretty much wipes out their whole military leadership. Then a week later, now you have the U.S. attacking their nuclear facility. So the real question you have to ask at this point is the job done or not? Because what happens if this isn't good enough for Israel or the United States? Then it doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. What happens if Iran symbolically does a retaliation, but then Israel is like, no, there's still a threat. We need to do this now. And then they say, because again, I heard it this morning. They went from nuclear weapons, then they're going to be like, well, they also have ballistic missiles. We need to get rid of that. And then now that conflict just evolved. So that's another possibility you got to think about. Does Israel want to continue this? Does OPEC come in and help with the oil supply? Or do we get something really bad? Or do we get the Strait of Hormuz closing? So, ta-da! Word on the street is the enriched uranium was moved. They said they have people at the doors so that they can't move it. Yeah, oil is. So remember I was telling you that one Iranian thing, that one headline. I said give it some time, but it has been working up from there. Qatar flight from London turns around before entering. Other planes turning around too. I'd be so pissed. Imagine you're on like a fucking 10-hour flight, and then right when you're about to get there, they're like, we have to turn it around. Okay, oil is going up right now. So again, you have airspace closing in Qatar. You just had that one headline I told you sounded like escalation at the end, attacking on one of the bases. We're getting ready for that. And now oil is finally moving from intraday. Because again, pre-market it gapped up. It's been selling off since futures last night. So now you're starting to move up. Bonds new high, yep. Actually, I have a pretty decent amount. Something is brewing. Yeah, we'll see. If oil might come down a little bit, and then, or it'll like get to this level. If it rips here, then something popped off. But I'd expect it to go up. It'll pull back, and then we'll get another headline, and then it'll either work up or work back down. But my goodness, man, what a day. You guys know you got Philo? So I should tell you guys now, Philo is in 1 hour and 15 minutes. So if you would like to buy a membership, that's just because I'm asking you to buy a membership. But you could all listen, because now that I don't have channel strikes, I could tell you about the Lord Jesus Christ, our Savior. And if you get mad about me and report me, I'm not going to get taken off of YouTube. So, but you could still buy a membership. Thank you to all who did. But yeah, I got a great Philo. So yeah, get ready for that. Get ready for that. You're scared to hold your TLT calls 9 days out? You should have been scared to post your play, because I would have banned you. That's what you should have been scared about. Otherwise, you should have really calculated your cost in the beginning, and then you wouldn't be scared about the option. But yeah, please don't break the rules. What up, Legal? How you doing, baby? Oh, good morning. Good morning. Look at that. Imagine. Legal blessing you, bro. He said thank you right away. Let's go. How does this channel get used? I don't have any anymore, bro. Yo! I got none. You know that? Bro, imagine like trying to like silence me, right? And they thought it was working and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then I come out on the back end with less strikes than I came in. You understand? Oh, and we got the members flowing. Let's go. Rogue, Mellow, Billy, Silos. Let's go, baby. Amen. Oh, the philo. Horn. See, look at this. Still showing love on the members. Y'all thought it was about a paywall, huh? Y'all thought you really did, huh? Y'all foolishly thought, huh? And look at the chat. They still giving me the members. They still out here. So yeah, I have no more channel strikes. So, you know, we'll see. But I feel a lot more comfortable talking about the veterans and Jesus now without the little Houthis getting mad and reporting me. So yeah, but Philos, you guys, we'll be going to another video, but it'll be available for everybody. So I'm gonna keep the organization because I like it after trying it. The harvest is plenty. Okay. Donald Trump pardoned you? Now, I don't know, man. Either way, I don't know, bro. I bet you it was probably like a lone wolf. It was either somebody reporting me or somebody who even worked at Google, but they definitely fixed it. So, you know, some of you still had trouble finding the channel, not as much as the other day, but like literally, bro, I'm telling you, every strike got removed. Even the one with my lawyer, I thought they took that one off the next day. And I was like, oh shit, they got rid of everything, bro. So I'm very, very pleased with the outcome. And I think, I don't know, it was a good show of faith from them. I think YouTube, I don't think they're too against us because they would have just banned us. So that was nice to see. That was nice to see, my friends. Microsoft. It was the first day it popped up. I know a lot of people said that. Some people had issues, but it was not as bad as Thursday, Friday. So either way, I'm generally content. I was already happy prior, man. Y'all heard it. So, you know, God is good, bro. Finger to the sky. And I still look forward to a lot more. And that's why, man, get it long term. Let's make something out of this, everybody. And if you're here, man, I truly believe you're here for a reason. And that reason is getting 10%, saving and growing and getting yourself some property. Becoming an owner, bro. Amen. Amen. The channel back. Did you do what I told you last week, though? Because I did communicate with you, trying to help you out on this. So I want to make sure, because if you're not willing to do those other steps, like the other stuff doesn't matter. But no, you cannot do that. I'm telling you, I had more of a response using the Chad than I did using a legitimate lawyer that I spend a lot of money for. They ignored my lawyer for a month and a half. That's what I'm saying. Until they cleared up my other ones, even the lawyer shit remained, and then they took it away. So, unfortunately, there's no way to find out who reported you in that sense. So you can't do that. You can sue them, but like I've said, I only found one lawyer, and they haven't even called me back on there. But any like good lawyer, people will tell you they could sue Google, they can't. And then the good lawyers, there's only one who's actually beat them, and then they represent Microsoft and a couple of other people. But yeah, you can't find out that info. Their best bet, like I said that one time, is like just objectively record evidence of the rules not being broken. Like, do you understand? Like, so for my situation, I have all of the content. So that's why I'm saying, they wouldn't even tell me where I violated the rules, but that's why I'm saying no matter where in that video, 0 rules were broken. And like I said, I videotaped and documented their training being wrong. So that was, look, and then we made noise every single day. They ignored us for a couple of days, and then they didn't even notify me, and then it just disappeared. So and that was my only success I've had on going against YouTube in almost a decade. So I don't know I don't know if you could repeat it. I don't know. Every situation's different, but it didn't really need lawyers. And what I did need though was the content, and like again, just objectively highlighting, really what it was. Where do you send them the video? Well, they let you appeal, then you take the video and go to Twitter, and then start fucking hitting them up every day with the video. Other people will respond. That's what happened when I did it. When I put out my video, obviously the Chad helped me out and retweeted it, but then a lot of other people with the same issue who was like looking at the replies, they started getting involved. So that's the best bet. Like I'm telling you, and Ibrahim, bro, fucking shout out Ibrahim, baby. Y'all just need Ibrahim, bro. But the hard problem with all of it is like I'm saying, bro, I've only been successful at this one time in my life. Where you guys just witnessed it. That's why I was getting so mad about it, because once you're in that black hole, dude, they're so annoying. They won't let you out of it. So I would hit them up every single day, get the video, post the video evidence, and then every single day, just tag them. Yeah, that's what I did every single day. And then all the Chads started helping me out. And I tagged the CEO, I tagged Sundar, and we did it every single day until they responded. And then we started writing letters to the White House. So, yeah, I'm the first content creator getting it removed. But that's the thing, though, is like, I shouldn't have gotten them in the first place. I could stand on that. Do you guys get what I'm saying? I could objectively look you in the eyes and tell you 0 rules were broken. I don't need special treatment. I don't need anything. I'm just telling you, like, legitimately, I adhered to their rules and their guidelines. Even there wasn't even a change. I objectively you were trying to tell me I'm guilty. I did not commit that. I did not violate any rules. So they're removing my penalty, but why did you penalize me? And then, like, I was able to prove they didn't. The system was just broken. It was incorrect, at least when it came to financials. It was coding the wrong answer, as you all got to see with the video. That video had almost 150,000 views on Twitter, I think. So that's what I'm saying, bro. If you have video evidence, just try to get attention to it. If you're like, you see what I'm saying? Because that's what I did, and I think that helped the pressure added to, again, Ibrahim and everybody else who helped out. But that's what I'm saying, bro. It is the Chad. When we all together work under the same goal, it really did help a lot. Let me see if I can find the video. Microsoft ripping. Again, it's been up all day, but that's your first, like, dollar pop into the high. And then Turkish companies cancel flights to UAE. Okay, it got 140. But yeah, this was the video. So this got a bunch of views on Twitter, and thank you to the Chads who helped me get the word out. But then, like, other people started replying to this. But then this is the one I got YouTube to respond back twice. But like I'm saying, like, it showed it was wrong. So not only did I not violate the rules and they punished me for it, even their correction method was incorrect. And that's where we did it, and then we just stopped being, timid about it, and that helped. Yeah, Microsoft, another candle. Americans evacuated planes from the base in Qatar in advance. And then again, you have Turkey now canceling flights to the UAE. Microsoft, spy below VWAP, and you've stayed in this pen for like, what, 10, 20 minutes? I don't know if Bitcoin is flushing. Tesla says answers to questions on safety in Texas. Regulators should not be made public. Bitcoin did come down a little bit. It's still down all day. It's been like 172. Answers to questions on safety. I don't get it. What does that mean? Did you guys already see the Cybertruck glitching out? So someone already posted a video of it like swerving. Or not the Cybertruck. What's it called? The Cybercab? Starmer announcing industrial military production agreement with Ukraine after meeting with Zelensky. What is it? Cybercab. Did Elon already scrub the video? I swear I thought it would come up first. Yo, what? Oh yeah, here it is. So yeah, this is the video. Are you guys ready? So again, they launched it yesterday. $4.20 for a ride. Oh wait, no, that's not the video. Dude, wait, where is this video? It got taken down? Someone tag me in it. There's a video of the Cybercab swerving, but I can't find it anymore. Tag me on Twitter, Real Cult News. Where's this mother effer? I don't know. I saw it on Twitter in the morning, but then I can't find it again. Even if I search like Cybercab fail. There it is. Yeah. This one. This is the one. It just kept like swerving weird. There's another one. That might not be it. Yeah, this one. Where it just starts like tweaking. Yeah, that's crazy. I'd be flipping out. Yeah, that was the one. That was the worst video. But that's not bad though. I mean, again, my Waymo had a beer in it, but yeah, just starting out. I can't. Autonomous vehicles. Unsi. Where's the line? Turkish companies cancel flights to UAE. Another headline on that. There are more. Veamos. VIX running up. Hold on, you got oil coming down. The VIX just shot up out of nowhere. So, hold up, eyes. Yeah, airspace over airbase in Qatar is now closed, according to new notification. So, watch out. I don't know, that VIX move is weird. Oil hasn't moved. I don't know about dollar, gold, or anything. Bitcoin's on the low. Gold is still up. Oil's holding the pop, but then came down. So just watch out for that. U.S. squadrons operating over Saudi amid heightened regional tensions. Yeah, just weird the VIX hit a high. So it's either we bottom out there or something's about to snap. But then you'll need probably gold, oil, dollar, something has to move. But yeah, you're getting back down to the earlier levels. So yalla habibi. the downtown Austin, the Waymo kept dropping and picking people up in the middle of the road. Yeah, it just goes anywhere. It'll like find a decently safe spot, but then yeah, it just stops. And then you get out. I miss the Waymos though. I'm not gonna lie. I miss it after we went to Arizona. Like, dude, that was nice. That was just nice being able to. And then, dude, and then on my trip this last weekend, bro, I was in my Uber and I had to drive between my Ubers and like I'm on the phone and I'm doing like phone calls on my ride over. But then I'm like, wait a minute, bro. I'm like, this would be so much chiller if I didn't have a driver listening to all of my calls. So I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, I see the appeal of the Waymo. CRM launches Agent Force 3 to solve the biggest blockers scaling AI agents. That was weird. I was like, you know, there is a demand for nobody in the car. But is a computer any better than a driver listening? Well, yeah, the computer already listens to you in the privacy of your own home. So, and they'll just sell you something, but yeah. As long as I don't have to make eye contact with the person listening to me, that's fine. You know? As long as I don't like say something crazy and then I look up and then he's looking at me and I'm like, oh, I forgot. Whoa, Netflix official trailer of Quarterback? Yo, nuclear's dying, bro. Yo, Oklo, SMR, NNE, something just happened to nuclear. They're all getting clapped right now. And even a couple China names on the low. But yeah, nuclear just took a candle. They're already down on the day. SMR is already down like 2 and some change. Eject unruly. I think they just stopped the car. They could just stop it at any moment. But then that's the concept I don't like. It's disgusting. I'm telling you, bro. Every Waymo I would get into was so musty and just smelled terrible. These mother effers wouldn't turn on the AC. I'm like, you idiots. But then like, yeah, then the beer bottle and like throw up. That's the like part about that. The whole like, it's nice if you have privacy, but it's pretty filthy if you think about it. You know, you guys remember when people were like, oh shit, people are throwing up in Ubers. Yeah, what do you think's gonna happen in a Waymo? The first time I drove an autonomous vehicle, the second time there was throw up in a beer. So, I don't know, man. You could control the AC, but like every time I would get into a Waymo, the AC would be off and the car was like musty and it just felt disgusting. Then you turn it on and it'd feel nice and then you'd be like, okay. My weekend was good, bro. I can't believe it, bro. I just packed up, I took my computer, and I fully like streamed from a hotel room. I've never done that in my life. So that was cool. Now we could go anywhere. That's why I said I did it in Miami, but Miami I did it at like a house. I didn't do it at like a hotel. So this time I did it at a hotel. And now we out here, bro. We out here. Eli Lilly dropping now. They were leading. That's crazy. So all of the GOP ones. Is oil still going? Yep. All right. So again, we've been watching that first run up. You guys remember some of the Iranian Qatar headlines. That's pretty much what has been developing here. It's just a self-driving toilet. No, for real though. That's really what it is. Do it from an LA hotel? Why? I don't think they're having riots anymore. Ooh, Puerto Rico? Ooh, be safe. That sounds fun. I think we're gonna stay in San Diego. I got a bunch of family in now. That's it. But then I don't know. We kind of got over 4th of July. Like, we usually celebrate the weekend after because the beaches get crazy. I don't know if Chicago has Waymos. The InnoView, yeah, I think that's the one off Amazon, right? Dude, I bought these monitors. They were like $100 a pop, and they're perfect. But yeah, if they break, I don't care, but that's the ones I used. And then I took my little desktop. It's small. I carried it with me. It was kind of hard to travel with 2 monitors, a microphone, and a computer. That was the only difficult part, but other than that, it worked, dude. I'm shocked. So now I know what to look for, but I better watch out. I might pull up. I could do a whole stream in any city now. I'm gonna find you, Chad. I'm gonna find you. Fox News reporting imminent threat of Iranian attack now against Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. All right, well, everyone's putting that out. World awaits Iran response. A full Pelican case setup? Send me it? Because that's what I just need a case to travel with. If I could make the travel easier, that's it, bro. We'll do a 50-state tour. We could get it done in a month. I think. 2 months? Well, hit him up outside of here, though, okay? I love you, Benny, but we're not going to do the little networking shit in here because I apply that equally for everybody now, okay? So I love you all, but I don't want to be associated or responsible. You guys understand? That's why we don't, as the rules say, you find a way to meet up with everybody, but I'm not going to have it sanctioned through here because it's too much liability on my end. And some of y'all still like drugs and shit, so I'm not going to tie myself in. And that's why we have those rules. So thank you. No, I don't know who that is. I still need to go to Chicago. Still, we're one step closer. We're one step closer. But yeah, send me that thing, Tim, and I want to take a look at it. Ken, what happened to that? We stopped talking about terrorists. We stopped talking about a lot of things, and then now, what happened to Canada becoming the 51st state? What size? I think the monitors are like 21 inches. I think. New theme, stock market live pop-ups. Could. I just do it because it's fun. I just wanted to go. So I wanted my spa day and I wanted to stream. And I didn't want to have to decide between both of them. So I did both. Yeah, taking over Greenland. Yeah, see, there's a lot of stuff that had like a lot of attention in the beginning, but where'd it go? We have not heard about it. Yeah, everyone, that's been circulated. That's the second pop. Remember, I was telling you the Iran one. I said give it 10 minutes. Then we shot up. Then it comes back down. And then now they're saying imminent attack and getting ready for it. So we'll see. And that, if they do attack, that will be their response. Like I've been telling you, they haven't technically responded yet. So think about all of that. The monitor, I used it was like an InnoView. I just bought it off Amazon. They're like these portable monitors. They're really like thin and they're just cheap. They're like $100 and they're legit. Coin. Because Trump does something different. Well, I would just stop blaming Trump Maybe you guys take a step back and realize that if you keep blaming Trump, you're going to keep being confused. You know, the problem is that Trump is doing a lot. Yes, you're not wrong on that. He does a lot, and he does a lot randomly, and there's a lot of shit. But the problem that's leading us into these difficulty comprehending and everything else is that everybody is overblowing the first thing right when it happens. This is honestly, bro, even the amount of people who are like, do you still support Trump? Do you guys not realize this is the problem I have with some of you? This is how you even treat me. I don't choose sides to switch teams when it doesn't go my way at the first second. You guys realize that, right? I hope you don't either, but some of you, a lot of you do. You guys choose a side, and then the first sign of something, you're like, oh, and then you start reconsidering and redoing all of that. That's not what, you know what I'm saying? That's I trust the guy, and I will judge it with enough time, and I hope he doesn't become George W. Bush, you know what I'm saying? George W. Trump, but for the meantime, it's been 6 fucking months. You know what I'm a 10-year guy, you guys. You should all know that, and I hope you become a 10-year guy as well. But at the end of the day, it's just all of this stuff. I'm like, man, I think it's still kind of early, and we'll figure out where it all ends up with all of it. But for now, I'm not running to judgments, but you see where it's leading up. I'm not unprepared, and I'm not coming in it, in a certain way. I'm not being, oh yeah, Trump could do no wrong. No, I'm actually I've been skeptical. You could hear it in my tone. You could hear it in all of the topics that I brought up before everybody, from Elon Musk to anybody. I'm the one bringing it up. So I'm skeptical, and I will always be, but I'm not here to switch, my logic and go back and forth at the first sign, because it's so deep and so much is developing. So that's where I'm at now on all of it. But I think like I was saying, going back to it, the problem everyone's having is you keep blaming Trump. So again, rightfully so, we'll blame Trump and give him credit once we see how it all ends up. But I think a big communication problem right now is everybody is taking all of these things, and then the media and everybody is just blowing up with it. That's why they're freaking out over tariffs. They're freaking out over firing Jerome Powell. Then they're freaking out over the bill. Then it's not the bill. Then it's Elon. And then it's no kings. And do you see what I'm saying? That doesn't and ironic, and people have the audacity and be like, oh, Trump every day. And I'm like, well, every day the guy could do something, but everyone's choosing to overreact every single time from even before he was president. So that's why, remember, you had front running and you had a big move from the election right when he won, but he was not in office. You had people doing this drama, and then it hits all-time highs, and then you have the biggest decline. And again, we took advantage of all of it. All of this helped us out if you kept this mentality. But I just think everybody's overreacting very early, and they're making judgments and reactions so quick. And then the reality is we're just 6 months into all of this. You couldn't have even had a baby by now. So we'll see what comes out at 9 months, maybe a year. Yeah, a lot of history. Well, that's why I gave you the Iranian history lesson. We could go over a lot. Maybe this summer we do a lot of econ. Maybe this could be our summer of econ if things slow down. I'd love to give you guys a bunch of lessons, and we could talk about it and go over history, both, U.S. history, all these other countries, but under the context of understanding economies and markets, international political economy. That is the one topic that I really appreciate. But yeah, you got to nothing is you're not gonna get full understanding though by hearing something and then overreacting. Okay, very, very simple. That I do think that element is fully at play right now. But yeah, there's a lot of history I think that could help you understand this too. And the beauty too, I really encourage you all, don't forget what you have lived through in the last 5 years. I mean that good and bad. Whether you support Trump or not, it doesn't matter. But you got to really, you just went through a very difficult time, and you could have learned a lot in the last 5 years. And in the same way too, 4 years ago, a lot of bad things were happening and stuff that you could have overreacted to. And I watch the same people overreacting now choose to not react for 4 years. So you guys could calm down, okay? Just watch and see. But at the end of the day, diversification, get a long term, and you'll know the answer when it's there. I promise you. You'll know where things are going. That's why this is just emotions and nothing has really changed, but we haven't gone anywhere. No one knows where we're going. You'll know when it really does change. So yeah, did I end up getting bed bugs? I don't think so. I got another bite. It's like on my tummy. But yeah, my girl said it wasn't bed bugs. She said they would have been everywhere. But yeah, I just got these. I think they were spider bites. I don't know what it was. But yeah, I got like 4 big bites. You miss the formal econ lessons? I do too, but I won't lie to you. I don't know how effective they were. Because some of you would really like them and understand, but I just remember I did that quiz and you guys failed miserably. So we do got to make sure, we got to find a way to make it more effective. And I want to make sure you guys actually you actually get it, because if we go through that again and I get another like 30% pass rate, bro, I'm gonna turn into Iran. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to start making my own facilities, and I'm gonna be like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Trump will meet with national security 45 minutes. German A400 logistic planes are now leaving Tel Aviv. Macron condemns strikes on Iran prison in Evin. I know, I need to think of a way to make it more. I think we can't go over as many, but unfortunately, like, that's just what we did in college, right? We'd have 3 months to go over the whole entire history of international political economy. You know, I think because think about it, you're going 20 topics, you know, by the time we finish 2 chapters, you have a lot of keywords to go over. So I think if we broke it up more, but it would be a lot slower, and it was already slow to begin with. Yeah, USO again. Hideki would replace Yutaka. I don't know. Step down as commissioner of Japan's financial services. Oil going up and VIX on the high. I have a playlist already. That's what I'm saying. So there's already a playlist of economic lessons. I said we'll continue them once you guys could pass the test on that one. So are you guys ready? I could give it to you, but yeah, that we do have a playlist with like 30, 40 videos, about 13 chapters in a textbook going over international political economy. GLD. Maybe I might have to just make it. I might have to make it as that setup. I could probably break down the lessons, and then you have to do a quiz, and then you can't go to the next lesson until you pass the quiz. Yeah, Trump admin is preparing for an attack on U.S. Gulf bases, Axios. That's coming in now. So again, you spent the first, literally, just like every day from last week, bro. You wake up, everybody says it's not that bad. You rip up, and then throughout hours in the day, you start to slip. Oil starts to... Come on. Remember I was saying this on Friday? You have done this every single day, bro. You gap up. This one last Thursday was good, but ever since the conflict, you like chill out, then you dip, gap up. Everyone says it's fine. You sell off. Big event. No, everything's good. Oh, no, we have an attack. Okay, everything's fine. Oh, no, an attack. Everything's fine. No, it's an attack. Okay, everything's good. Attack. So, yeah, right on cue. That's what I was saying. That's why it's been difficult, and that's why it's like, yeah, don't ignore the SPY, but volatility, you'll get volatility without movement. It's a very, very weird concept because it pertains mainly to the commodities. Oh, man, your best friend died of an overdose in 2020, and his little brother just did too? Oh, man. I'm sorry, bro. Oh, well, prayers up, bro. I lost a lot of good friends like that. You know that? It's very, very sad. And, you know, pray for him. You know that? Remember, pray for him and pray that, you know, God don't operate in space and time, bro. And pray that they had an encounter and God goes back, and you know what I'm saying? And pray for their soul, pray for their families, bro. And even you, and you stay on the right path too, bro. It is a very, very sad thing. Disney, CNBC. Wow, it went down. Usually goes up. All right, SPY coming down. Oil is about to break the intraday high. It's barely green. That's the crazy part. But from the low end, you're about to move your way on up here. So yeah, this Iran, again, same setup. Everyone says it's fine. Nothing happens. As I was reminding you all morning, Iran hasn't responded. And now as we're getting the updates on Iran about to attack U.S. bases, nothing's happened yet. But that's the intelligence that everyone's reacting to right now. They're saying Iran is going to attack the U.S. bases in the Gulf states, Qatar, even Iraq, I think. So we'll see where it leads. But now you're getting the pullback as that comes out. Yeah, airlines coming down now. So watch the travel ones. Feels like the boy who cried wolf. Yeah, Iran is known for like intimidation. The new Iran, the Ayatollah, and they like to, but then they act on it sometimes. I mean, it just all really depends. But as of lately, they've been weakened heavily. That's why, like, you don't know if what did he say? The emperor has no clothes. I could kind of agree with that, but they're probably gonna do something. They still have missiles. Don't get it twisted. They lost leadership. They don't have certain things, but you know, they have the resources. They could attack one of these bases if they really wanted to. You know what I'm saying? So we will see. Oh, even Circle. So again, Circle and what was the other one? Core Weave. But Circle's still up 8%. That's insane. UHS. Oh, I saw UHS. There was a headline on that. Oh, I saw that on the low ticker. Yeah. So Republicans discuss new way to cut Medicaid in Trump's tax bill. Okay, SPY's coming down. So just literally reports of attack in Iran. So nothing's happened yet. Appreciate you, brother. Be doing anything you want. You choose to be here, baby. Let's go. Case of pro on me. Let's go. Protein. Oh, I'm down. And amen, bro. And I listen, someone gonna buy me a house one day. And Chad Adonia, you already saw it. We already defeated Google. Chad, we are gonna change the world. You know that? I hope all of y'all listening. We are. I believe it. And I know some of y'all listening here, bro, I truly hope you get educated. I hope you learn something, and I hope you get the resources, because you are going to walk away and change the world, baby. So, amen, bro. I'm honored to be here. I love it. That's why I said I want my vacation. I want my spa days. You know what I'm saying? But I also want the chat. I want give me all of it, baby. All of it. I will not plant sparingly. So, amen. Iran will hit bases in Qatar and UAE in the coming hours. GPS disruptions are reported in the area of Strait of Hormuz. XLV, we're going to wait for it, bro. We're going to wait for it. The haters reported you must be so mad. Bro, you're telling me? You're telling me, bro? Imagine first we start outperforming, right? All-time highs while the market starts dumping. We predict most of everything that's happened well in advance, and then we profit off of it. Couple 3,000 to 10,000 percenters this year, right? Right? And then they're like, and then we hit the Trump coin before every motherfucker in the world. Oh yeah, you forgot about that one, right? And then they get mad, and then they're like, Jesus, oh, you're Jesus in the and then we gotta go members only. I 10x my income on YouTube because they got mad at me. And then I get all these channel strikes. They thought they had us, and now I have less channel strikes than I came in with. My goodness. So yeah, get a long term, bro. I still love them all. I forgive you all, and I don't take any credit, baby. To God be the glory. I am nothing, and it is him, bro. And that's why I keep encouraging you all to seek the Lord and open your eyes and see the knowledge of the Spirit and look around and just, you know what I'm saying, bro? And that's it, because I don't take any credit, bro. And before you get any faith in me, you should ditch that and put your faith in the Most High, my friends. Because that's what it is, bro. And they don't like hearing that. And that's what I'm saying, bro. It's God, Jesus, that's it. And that's what we on, bro. All day, every day. I'm not perfect. I never will be. But my God is. Amen, amen. They don't feel me. All right, coming back down. Just Iran moves launchers for possible attack. Wall Street Journal. Okay. So literally last hour has been all of this shit, bro. I mean, you knew it was coming. It's just the way they lulled the market and everything. Yep, S&P erases gain. Dog, damn, Russell's moved over 1.5%. Like I said, round trip, NASDAQ has already moved 1%, but that's back to red now. So is the SPY and probably the equal weight. Yes, sir. Yeah, equal weight's down 1/4. And then gold's up, but it's not running that crazy. Keep an eye on the dollar. There is oil breaking out now. Hot dog. So watch, even some of the, like, small cap runners or even the big cap, right? Where's, like, Palantir? Yeah, see, Palantir, Circle, Core Weave. Just wait if Tesla comes down. If Tesla comes down, Apple, Microsoft, it gets ugly. Otherwise, if those could hold up, it won't be too bad. So let's see. And then what time is it? 9:30. Stand up and do a push-up. Oh, yeah, you do have Powell tomorrow. You have Jerome Powell in front of Senate in the next 2 days. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here. But oil, intraday high, heavy aerial activity over Baghdad. There it is. That's the attack. Like I was telling Baghdad, we have a base. So if there's aerial activity in Baghdad, it's most likely targeting a United States base. So there it is. See what oil does. See if it tops out or not. But I think that might be your legit first attack right there. Nothing, no reports of a strike, but just heavy aerial activity over central Iraq, Baghdad. I'm trying to see if I get a clip. I see the Israel videos, nothing on Iraq. Tesla, is Bloomberg? So you're telling me the Bloomberg reporter was just watched my segment on it and then they just made one? So yeah, now Bloomberg is reporting of a robo-taxi video showing speeding and driving into a wrong lane. Who would have thought? Yeah. All right. No news on Qatar. They just said they're closing it. They locked down the airspace. Iraq is the only one we've got. Air defenses activated in Parand, Iran's Tehran province. So hold on, bro. You have something in Baghdad. That's right now. Now you have air defense going off in Iran. Oil's near the high, SPY near the low. So, yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, man. You're juggling right now. So you got a couple of things. Again, you have Iraq and then Iran, multiple or subsequent simultaneous attacks. Just watch oil. It hasn't gone up yet. I'm going to put up $1 and then gold. Yeah, dollar's actually low, though. See? Honestly, that's the thing, though. Dollar's still red. I wouldn't be that worried. That's the thing. Honestly, with everything I've been telling you, if the dollar comes around, if the dollar rockets, then you should be freaked out. But if not, in a weird way, you're probably going to keep playing this game of gap up, sell off, gap up, sell off. Bitcoin testing 100. Okay, bro. SPY's like really dumping right now. Well, we were talking at the big level that you need to get to, and I think if the war stuff's gonna get it, just remember this little like gap fill. Where is it? Right here. You guys remember this? So in between like 5678 and like 5800, this is like a very weird spot that we haven't filled yet. So if things get really bad, I'm gonna keep my eye on there. Otherwise, we still gotta hit a new high. Well, yeah, Circle and Core Weaver going insane this morning, bro. But then they just flipped heavy. I can't believe it. Yeah, Circle just dropped another 5%. Damn. All right, you're going down. Well, the dollar, it could rocket if there's really fear. That's what I'm saying. Real fear, like not this like bullshit, talk about it on the news and try to make a play. I mean real fucking fear, the dollar's gonna run up. That's it. Very simple. I don't care what anybody says, even though you do have to acknowledge there's many reasons why the dollar should be weakened. There's a lot of flows betting against the dollar right now, so I'm very well aware of it. But like I'm saying, just historically speaking, if shit hits the fan, the dollar goes up. That's it. I don't care what anybody tells me. Yeah, but if Iran really has a problem, if anywhere in the Middle East has a real problem and we start getting really jumpy, I think that's the easiest play out there. But then again, this is kind of showing you nothing's really changed, right? Dollar came up, but until the dollar skyrockets, people aren't really scared, right? You follow the money. So you'll see it. You'll know shit's really popped off once they're like, I don't care, give me $1. That, you know what I'm saying? That attitude is much, much different. Alrighty. Bro, you just dumped 4 points. Bro, you're dumping. Stupid. So again, you were aware of all of this shit, you guys. You guys don't remember I was just telling you, I said wait to see if that one headline picks it up, and it did. Remember I was saying USO, and then it went, and then it pulled back, and now it's doing it again. Just like I was saying, it was going to do that, calm down, and then as the attack comes in, it'll either go down or go up. But that's crazy. But it's just sad because we all knew it, and then you have to play this game of melting up 5-6 points, and then it does the reversal. It's just every single day. Al Jazeera, Israel raids target Hamas residential city. Dude, they're attacking Hamas now too. They're going, targeting Hamad. Oh, excuse me, one letter off. Hamad. I was like, dude, they're going after Lebanon, Palestine, and Iran all in one go. Like, dude, I'm like, they are really, no, they're like, take advantage of the shelter in place. We go now, everybody. What? My man. Yeah, American bases are threat. That's pretty much the development here. And they started closing airspace and hearing it, and then, yeah, Iran preparing to fire missiles at America bases in coming minutes. Axios. All right, get ready. All right, shit. So hold on. Literally, they're saying in the next couple of minutes. So we went from next couple of hours to now people are saying in the next few minutes you will get one. Yeah, I'm just going to hold what I have. Explosions heard in Qatar. Okay, so next few minutes, and then they're saying unconfirmed reports in Doha. Capital of Doha, Reuters witness. That's coming out now as well. So, okay, and then you got oil. So maybe sell the news. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to play anything, bro. I already have plays, but I don't know. This is stupid because you were already up, and then you just did this. They launched 6 missiles towards U.S. bases in Qatar. Okay, so that's all coming out now. Oh, look at it. You just sold off of oil. It's literally sell the attack. Iran launched missiles at U.S. bases. That's coming in again. You are down about 1% from the high of the day. Yeah, at least on the NASDAQ. You went from 0.6 to down 0.4. And then Google. Bro, look at oil. Oh, is it beautiful? None of the premiums moved, though. You can't even buy that dip. So oil just shot down $1 on the attack news and LMT, but then none of the premiums moved down. I think it's because they said 6. It might be too small. So again, everybody just freaked out on Iran making their move, but now oil and defense is dumping. It might be too small. Yeah, just like I was telling you, it'll probably be symbolic. So if they do a small attack, that way the Ayatollah, they could get an attack in and say, look, we didn't just take it. And then they could come to the negotiating table. But that could be why you're bouncing. Again, oh, what? It's dropping frames? Hello? Howard! Am I back on? Howard! They keep cutting me. I was telling them the truth. They cut it out. Okay, we're back. I know, I told her. I said, why does it keep cutting out? Yeah, so like I'm saying, though, it could be because it's either too small or just because it could just be sell the news, and now once they attack, everybody goes back to the worst is behind us. That's literally what we keep doing every day. So, yeah. But other than, dude, oil just wiped all of it. All right, so SPY ripping. It could just be too small. I think you get your plays with a little bit of time, make up your mind on what you think is going to happen, and then stop playing it intraday. That's it. That's all. That's why I didn't touch any of this. I didn't touch it in the morning. I'm not touching it on the high. Call it a day, bro. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is just bullshit. And everyone's going to play this. Obviously, there will be a point where we get more escalation, you know? But you got to be positioned. Anytime I've made money on this, it was because I was already in the play. We already had the SPY puts. We already had the oil plays. You see what I'm saying? Wait till it goes red, just like LMT. Buy it when it's red, and then you have to wait. But trying to, like, chase this shit, you're going to get squashed, dude. It's not like... So I'm glad I held off on all of it. It sucks because you want to do something, but, like, look at that, bro. You just had a random oil run, and then 4 minutes, you just hit a new low, and then you even have the dollar. I think the dollar's fucking running on that. No, that's something on other currencies. But yeah, further explosions heard in Doha. All it is just fucking with everybody. Because then right when you think the situation's over, then they reignite it, and then you're like, what the fuck? And then right when it gets bad, it bounces, and then everyone's just getting confused. So if you're following the price action to try to track a war, you're going to get ripped apart. You see what I'm saying? You can't. You can't look at prices to understand what's going on. It's just not going to work. So you have to just, like, what's the next stage now? That's what you got to think about. So let's take a step back. We just watched all the developments go from nothing to something to back to nothing, right? So what's next? Just come on, start thinking. What happens next? Iran attacks. We're going to judge the attack. And then either Israel or United States goes again, or they say, no, okay, let's negotiate now. That's it. And now they're saying all missiles were intercepted. One missile reported at base in Iraq. So there you go. One missile hit Iraq, I think. The rest got intercepted. Exactly. Are we going to attack back? Are they going to take that as done? What happens? And then that's going to cause the next set of moves. You see what I'm saying? That's how you position, you guys. So don't chase this bullshit. Start thinking about what you think is going to happen next. Do you think we're going to get more Israel-U.S. escalation, or are they going to use now tit for tat to come back to the negotiating table and settle out a deal? And that will cause the next move. Nothing to something to nothing. My next guess would be something. Well, there you go. And then what happens after that? Nothing. So play accordingly. Trump will be live at 1 p.m. Oh yeah, there's videos of it. Brent falls after 2. The stream got clapped earlier. I don't know what happened. Yeah. So here's the video from Qatar right now. This is what just happened. This is their airspace. It's only a 6-second video. There's that one. Oh, man. And then this. This is in Qatar, too. Yeah. That looks like more than 6, dog. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 6 sets of 6? About the long-term option. Well, no options in the long term. But Decker, I like the company, and if you believe they'll be around for 10 years, I don't buy tools a lot, so I know it's a... Oh, no, Deck is like the clothing company. Oh, yeah, they could be fired. I thought you meant... Oh, well, I'm thinking BLK, Black & Deckers. Right? Are we talking the same one, or are you talking Black & Decker, or are you talking Deckers Outdoors? Because Deckers doesn't have a... Yeah, he's talking SWK. Because Deck doesn't have a dividend. I'm assuming you're talking Stanley Black & Decker. Yeah, they pay 5%. So yeah, Deck could be a good one if you like some of their clothing brands, but... Yeah, Stanley Black & Decker, it's a good name. Again, it's been around for longer than most of us have been alive. Tools, it's always be there for manufacturing. It could be a value trap. I'd have to look more into it because I want to know why they've underperformed, but it is a good name. It's a good name you all know about, so, and it's related to the economy. Like I said, I don't use tools that often, even though I do a lot of real estate. I would say the people that I hire out for stuff would probably use it more, but my familiarity is a little bit lower, so I'd have to look. I want to know what happened in these last couple years that made them underperform, and see if that could justify it or not. But it definitely is compelling. It's cheap. It's not up on the year. It's discounted, has a dividend. It's a name everybody knows about. It's a name that'll probably be around in the future, you know? So, yeah, dude, they're raising the premiums on all the oil. They just dropped the bids, but then they're raising the asks to the moon. Very interesting. Maximum alert declared to take shelter at Ain al-Assad Air Base in Iraq. Yeah, Iraq is the one they targeted last time. Remember? There's like some troops, they had like brain injuries as a result. Like it wasn't like a direct hit, but like even the force caused the problem. So Iran likes to attack Iraq. They like those U.S. bases there. So I think it's easier for them. But that's the there could be a worry. Like that's the thing. Imagine they attack and they're doing it symbolic, but it leads to a problem. If it leads to a casualty, oh dude, that's another outcome. Then we have a whole nother different world of all of it. Bro, can you guys believe it's already June 23rd? Blech. Alarms at Al Harar Air Force. Hell, they're attacking all of them? It seems like they're going after more than one base. I think they're going after all of them. Iran has launched additional ballistic missiles. It's coming in now. U.S. jets scrambling over Saudi Arabia. Whoa. All right. So they're scrambling jets in Saudi Arabia. Those are probably going to try to intercept. Or they're going to probably send those to Iraq. But yeah, is that old? If it's not old, I would take that as a little bit more worrisome. I think just so far, it was a small attack, 6 warheads, or 6 missiles. They intercepted most of them. And then this seems like round 2 is coming up. White House and Department of Defense are aware and closely monitoring potential threats to Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. Senior White House official. And then Israeli media, Iran launched missiles at U.S. bases in Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Iraq. UAE is closely monitoring regional developments and continually assessing the situation. You saw that headline 30 minutes ago? Yeah, a few Chad said that. That one might be old. I disregard. Just see what happens next and see whenever oil takes off. And then alarms in Iraq. Joint Chiefs Chair General Kane and Hegseth are in the Situation Room right now. UAE has closed their airspace. First it was Qatar, now UAE. Okay, so like literally, bro, all morning we started off everybody trying to analyze it, but y'all realize there's like a Middle East like skirmish going on right now. So that is what's essentially occurring here. Oil started going down on the first attack, but essentially, yeah, a lot of airspace in the Middle East is being closed. There's bombs and missiles and interceptions. All that's happening right now. Iran launched 10 missiles towards U.S. bases, Israeli says. Operation Bashrat al-Fath against United States has been launched. Iranian state media announces. Yeah, it's very symbolic, I think. Operation Barakat al-Fatah begins in the U.S. Al Udeid Air Base. So yeah, they already have a name for it. This is their operation. So there you go. That way they could say they attacked America, and then now either Israel and America attacks again, or we get a negotiation. Hopefully. So we'll see. But think about it. Listen, it could be symbolic, but if it's not, then yeah, that's not good. So just as much as everybody wants to settle on that which, and it's most likely true, you never know. So just head on a swivel. Flights to the Middle East cheaper? I don't know, because some people may not want to go, but then the actual amount of flights is low. Well, I got good news and bad news for you. So, bad news, we have to move to Philo. Good news, the actual good news is that you're not you don't have to be a member. So it's free to everybody. But the whole point is that you're literally going to go onto a whole nother video that says Philo. You get what I'm saying? So if you cry about Philo, it's like you had to leave here and go to that video just to cry. You get what I'm saying? That's a wicked concept. That's crazy. That's not even you know what I'm saying? I don't even know how. I can't even give you an analogy because it's so ridiculous. All right? So, God bless you. And let me get the link. But yeah, we're going to move on over. And then hopefully Philo could save the market. Otherwise, it'll probably be really volatile. So, other than that, I'll post the link and I will see you guys there. Wait, I don't know if I put the right video. Philo. All right, you're coming back down. Oil's starting to lift off. Again, there's a couple of oil plays, but I haven't taken them yet. I don't want to. I'm just going to hold my other ones. You're getting more alarms in Kuwait. All right, I'll see you guys on the Philo video. And God bless you. If you don't come back, that's fine. But please don't join if you're going to complain about the Lord Jesus Christ, your Savior. Because that's what you could do when you're leading. You could talk about whatever you want. So I'll see you there. You don't need to pay for it, no. But if you want to be there, you got to go find it. So, peace.